literally just popped into my mind. I saw so many black people, BLK people, men and women, talking about this new thing about BLK fatigue. That I saw a conversation going on TikTok from the YT side where they're talking about BLK fatigue is them being basically essentially tired of BLK people and hearing about anything that that BLK people are bothered by or affected by. And with DEI and that whole thing and a whole bunch of other things going on, I really want. Oh, and also Tulsa, Oklahoma. That's a big thing, like Black Wall Street. Um, and it led me to a thought process, right? And I'll tell you, it led me into number two. Be okay women, dating be okay men, and also being disappointed with the state of be okay men. So a lot of be okay women are, wanting to date interracially, which is fine. But I've noticed that there are a lot of black women that only focus on white T men as opposed to everybody, seeing as though there's plenty of other people to choose from besides white T men. I mean, like a lot of times, like in my comment sections and things like that, it'll be like be okay women that'll say, hey, you won't have these issues that you're having with be okay men if you just choose a white T man, because white T men are so much better than be okay men and things like that. Or they'll say, this is, you go to that community, I've dated them, they like to pay for, a lot of positive things about YT men versus BLK men. And I want to know how you rationalize on any level, because this is a question that I have been wanting to ask for a long time, but I have not said anything. But I want to know how you rationalize, like, putting a group of men on a pedestal that only a few generations ago would have slung you from a tree, and still actively do things to this day in politics and in things that actively affect your real life to disenfranchise you. I find that to be so strange to put them on a pedestal. Now, it would be different if, I saw a lot of black women out there. Anti-blackness is in every community, but I still would not be so side-eyed if black women were like, they were talking about Asian men or even Hispanic men. I don't even know. Just really anybody other than the Europeans, the Caucasians. It's very weird to me to see like BLK women put them specifically on a pedestal when look at the things that are still going on. Like now how like woke is a dirty word. They've changed black people just saying stay woke, stay up on game, research, know your history, to where that's now a slang term for basically, you might as well just call them the N-word. Because that's basically what it means. And DEI basically means that too. No N-words allowed. You know what I'm saying? And now we got this new thing. And somebody made a video where they were like saying that they would just appreciate if y'all would just stop tiptoeing around, racism, and just be honest and do like they did back in the day and just be openly, racist, as opposed to trying to fake like you're not. And I agree, but the whole black fatigue, it really blew me to see so many white people saying it. And then I saw another video here on TikTok of a group of white men, and apparently somebody broke into their car or did something, and they posted it on TikTok, and they were talking about who did it, and they were like, yeah, his nostrils are wide, and saying all of these other racist things. And it just really had me to the point to where I just was thinking to myself, like, exactly how do you rationalize dating them specifically when, oh girl, I was just trying not to use the R word, Special K, because I don't think you can use it without getting flagged. So I just, instead of saying, the real acism altogether, I was just saying gracism, if you get what I mean. But yeah, like I said, I just don't get it. I specifically don't get it. And I want people to understand I don't have no problems with black women dating out. I think that black women should date out. I just feel some type of way about the flower arrangers. You know what I'm saying? Because I just look at how gracious they are on this app. But I do want to make it clear that I'm not saying that black women shouldn't date out if you're interested in dating. You don't have to choose be okay men. I can understand why a lot of you might not. I That's not the issue. You know what I'm saying? The issue is why put a group of people on a pedestal that will never do that for you? You would never see any of these white tea males in lies full of white tea women saying, oh, that's why you get you a sister. That's why you get you a sister, because they do that. You are not going to hear it. You're not going to hear it. And very rare, I mean, you might hear a couple of dudes, white tea dudes do that, but tell yourself the truth. The majority of them are not doing that. The majority of them are not doing that. They're not praising you. They're not uplifting you. They're not preaching about your beauty. They're not. Even statistically, white tea people, still are the most reserved when it comes to dating out. They still prefer their own the majority of the time. So that should let you know right there, you're in no position of being uplifted over there. You're in no position of them thinking that you are this fantastic black queen. And this isn't to talk about individual experiences or anecdotal experiences, because if you say, oh, well, not me, yes, that could be the case. I'm not saying it's not. And I think another thing that I feel like BLK women don't admit often is that for a lot of white tea men that date black women, there is a certain type of prototype, archetype, whatever you want to talk about a black woman that they do like. It's very specific. And I know y'all know what I'm talking about. I'm not even going to say, you tell me. You know that most of the time, especially if he's an attractive white tea man, he has something going on, there is a very specific type of black woman that he is attracted to. Okay, so it's not like it's every black woman. Like you could just be like what's the lady from Norbit? That Eddie Murphy was playing. Not trying to be funny or whatever, fat phobic, but you get what I'm saying. It's not those women. It's not, and y'all got to be real and to be truthful about it. Yes, Rasputia. Yeah, it's not Rasputia that they talking to. The white tea men that actually have some money, have some class, have a career. You know what I'm saying? And those women may have hard wigs, but those women are still very attractive and have nice, you know what I'm talking about. Outside of the hard wig, I've seen plenty of those women, and they also look a certain type of way. Yeah, and they don't look like Rasputia either. Exactly. Thank you, PG 1908. Somebody said it, but I wasn't trying to say it. They be chocolate and slim. And a lot of times they do have a hard wig, or they have no hair, or they have like a natural hair. And when I say no hair, like a natural afro or a short cut, or you know what I'm saying? Anyway, exactly. So it's just like, I just don't understand the praise that I see them getting from black women. Yes, Jodie Turner-Smith is a perfect example. Perfect example. And by the way, that lady is stunning. She is so freaking beautiful. I remember the first time I saw Jodie Turner-Smith, I literally gasped. I was like, oh, whoa, that lady is gorgeous. You know what I'm saying? For real. But anyway, and I'm not trying to be funny by saying none of this. But, after, like I said, I think I'm fed up. I'm fed up because after seeing the black fatigue stuff today, it just really it blew my mind. It blew my mind, and it made me so upset. Because honestly, like I said, anytime I be in lives, it'd be black women trying to big them up, and I don't like that. Or they'll tell me hey, white tea men are so much better than BLK men, and all of the white tea men that I've dated like 8 or 9 of them. And I'm like, okay, well, if they're better, then why? And you say they value marriage more, then why didn't you marry one of those 8 or 9 of them? why did you get the same result with them that you did with the BLK men? And once again, this is not to advocate for dating BLK men at all, and on any level. I just want y'all to know that I'm not trying to do that. Because if I saw black women, like I said earlier, talking about the Asians, talking about the Indians, talking about the Native Americans or indigenous, or talking about Hispanics or whoever, I don't know. I wouldn't say nothing about it. But it's just weird to see that particular group, y'all uplift. Like, it's really wild to see. Like, I just don't feel like we as black women should ever be uplifting them specifically. What are you doing? Why? Why would you do that? Are they uplifting you publicly, or are they trying to roll back everything that's involving you? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like that's all I'm saying. Them specifically, ill. It's just, I don't know. I just feel some type of way about it. I really do. And it would be different if they weren't actively still as a collective. The collective of them, the majority of them are still very racist. So why would you be somewhere uplifting them publicly like that? I can't. And I can respect that from Pluto, who says I only uplift the white T man that you're dating. Because you've already vetted them, you know them, whatever the case may be, that's fine. But I just feel like getting on lives and talking about them as a collective, like, it just is like, ugh. Like, I can't. I just I don't understand it. You know what I'm saying? And yes, and that's my thing, is that I don't believe in uplifting none of them. You know what I'm saying? I don't believe any men should be uplifted unless you know them personally and they have been tried and true. Like, it's your daddy, your brother, or like you got a fiance or a husband or something, and you really know him and he's right. Then maybe then. But uplifting a collective of men, like, of any race, like, ew. But anyway, go ahead, PG 1908. Did you have something to say, sis?
Yeah, hey lady, what's up?
Hey, how you
Okay,
doing?
I'm good. So here's the thing. I have so many different feelings about the topic of IR dating. I mean, because of the history with BLK women and dating, I I wouldn't say push IR dating because of the history in our country, but I honestly don't. This is just my personal feeling, even though I have multiple feelings about this topic. I don't think BLK women should promote dating anyone. I think that they should promote who is the best person for them and may the best man win. Um, but I do have a little guilty pleasure. I like watching the divested girlies go back and forth because I honestly think that BLK men, they need that dose of reality because they're too hyped up and they think that they got BLK women in their back pocket. They think that BLK women aren't going anywhere. So sometimes I like that little kick in the face that divested women their narratives give. I'm not gonna lie about that. I do like it when they kind of kick it back to them with, hyping up other men. Even though I don't always agree, I still think that they need to throw some of that back in their face. I do. I know that sounds crazy. That may be dysfunctional, but that's just the way I feel because BLK men are way too arrogant in thinking that BLK women are not going anywhere. They are way too arrogant and thinking that they can behave any kind of way that they want, speak to BLK women any kind of way that they want with that balloon popping thing and how they talk to BLK women. They are way too arrogant. And sometimes, me hearing the narrative of divested women or the IR dating women, I sometimes like to hear that throwback, that just I don't know, it just kind of balances the universe for me a little bit. But me personally, I just don't think that BLK women should promote anyone when they sit back and hype up BLK men. I really don't know what they're hyping up other than the aesthetics. All they talk about is, oh, he looks good, he has nice shoulders, or he got a nice stomach, he go to the gym, he's chocolate, he has pretty teeth. But I have never, and even on the internet, on these forums, I've never heard BLK women say that they like his character. They like that he's a good dude. I haven't heard that. And every time you ask a BOK woman, what do you like about BOK men? Oh, he look good, or that thing be thangin'. And I'm like, so apart from the aesthetics, apart from anything physical, what do you like about who he is as a person? Because many of them never name who they are as a person. And I think that, that hyping them up on what they look like, especially if it doesn't happen in reverse, because I have yet to hear BLK men in large numbers the way that BLK women do, hype black BLK women up. So I think that there should be balance. I think that I kind of cringe a little bit when I hear BLK women just going on and on and on about BLK men. And I'm like, honey, you're he would never do that for you. You're not even one of the preferences. And the fact that we even know that they have preferences, that in itself should be enough for BLK women to just stop. Enough for BLK women to just stop. Because I cringe every time they start fangirling over BLK men. It's almost to the point to where it kind of make me sick to my stomach. But I'm gonna pause there and I'm gonna land there and I'll pick back up.
Okay, okay. I mean, I definitely get your perspective, and I don't disagree with nothing that you said, and I do understand and agree with you that a lot of BOK men need a dose of reality. They don't need that. There's nothing like a black king stuff all the time, or that they're so handsome and attractive and sexy. Because honestly, the majority of them are not. That's number one, a lie. I'm not saying that I haven't seen some very attractive black men in my day. Also, I haven't talked to or dated some attractive black men in my day that I don't find my husband attractive or whatever. But the majority of them, let's stop the cap here. Let's stop the cap here. Let's stop it. Everybody that you seeing is not no Idris, is not no Keith Powers or whoever else everybody think is sexy.
Right,
It's
because
not the
BLK
case.
women carry on like every last one of them is an adult. Don't hype you up like that. You are
No.
not the preference, and we all know what a preference looks like. You are if you were in a group with your friends when y'all go out, you'll be the last one that they talk to. So why are you always fangirling over dudes that do not do that for you? It's cringe. Like I cringe every time I see a BLK woman just fangirling over BLK men. It annoys me because he would never do that for her ever.
I mean, yeah, yeah. I mean, yeah. I can't say anything. And I said this another time. I said it doesn't happen often, and that's the reason why when a BLK man does say it, he goes viral almost immediately because it's so rare to hear. So black women just go crazy. Excuse me, and start sharing it everywhere because it
That's a
doesn't
money
happen.
grab because they know that they can get BOK women's attention simply by applauding them, and that's a money grab. They go viral, they get the money, and it's like these dudes end up having a preference girlfriend or a non-black girlfriend. Like what was that Aaron Pierre Mufasa guy? When they found
Yeah.
out who he was really dating, I'm like, y'all look stupid. You look like idiots. Will you stop doing that? So I'm sorry, but that just really gets me because I hate when
Nah,
BOK women. It's like you cheapen yourself when you grovel at their feet. And it's like they don't deserve that and they don't do it for you. Oh my God.
no, I get what you're saying. Like I said, I see it. I'd be lying if I didn't say that I haven't seen it a million and one times. But let me go ahead and let everybody else speak before I even like respond to anything. Go ahead, Special K.
Hey, yeah, I'm sorry. They're out there mowing the lawn. Can you hear me? Is it loud in my
I mean I can
background?
hear it, but I can hear you better. It's cool. Go ahead, sis.
Oh, okay, perfect. All right. So when it comes down to the IR relationships or whatever, I feel like I don't know. This is gonna be definitely my own opinion. It's not gold, but I feel like when black women decide to date outside their race and they choose to be with a YT man, I feel like at that point it's no different than when YT men owned us, right? Because you're signing a contract and you're taking on that YT man's last name. And when you take on his last name, we don't know what the future holds. And I think about it all the time. Like, if I were to date, well, I'm not attracted to YT men, but let's say I was. And let's say with all of the stuff that's going on in the world right now, they decide to revert back to what, that current president is trying to revert back to. Like, what's going to happen to those women what's going to happen to me, or what's going to happen to those women who are tied to that last name? Like, for me, I couldn't change my last name again to be, under a YT man's thumb. Like, I just for the life of me, I just couldn't see it. And I don't know if I'm the only one that see it, but I feel like it's, for some reason, I feel like it's unsafe. Like, and to choose that, me, I always talk about, like, if I were to date outside of my race, well, it wouldn't even be my race. I would date outside of my nationality before I date outside of my race. And it would be like a Samoan man or an African man, or, something like that. But it would never be to just a straight up and down YT man. Like, I just can't even see myself. But that's how I feel whenever I see, those women in those relationships. I'm like, what's going to happen later on in the future? I always think about that. And then this black fatigue thing, the way that they're, changing the definition of it, when black fatigue is supposed to be pertaining to how black people feel. It's supposed to be how we feel. It's us being exhausted with our experiences, the things that we experience systematically and just in all types of situations. I'm learning this word and I'm like, wow, so they co-opt another word, and it's just crazy that they're able to even do that. It lets you know that we're still under, that system where they can get popular for just changing a word that we've been saying for a while now. So I don't know. But that's how I feel about those interracial relationships, and that's how I feel about, the black fatigue, and everything. But I'll land there and I'll let you go ahead with somebody else.
Okay, no problem, Special K. Hey, if you guys could please like the live, if you guys could get me up to 10K, because they said that the live is skipping and repeating, and that just means that somebody's reporting, which always happens for some reason. I have no idea why. Like, people, I don't even have a huge following here on TikTok, but for some reason, every time I do my little thing, and you can hear it. Sometimes you can't hear the skipping, Gabrielle, if you're in the box. But if you're in the actual chat, you're not in the box, you can hear it for some reason. Uh yeah. And to Proud Black Woman, I think you might have come in on the wrong tail end of it, because nobody said anything about black women not dating out. Nobody said anything about black women being scared to date out. At least I wasn't aware that anybody said that. I particularly said the way you can kind of know what the live is about. I said personally, seeing like DEI, seeing this whole black fatigue thing, and seeing YT people say all of these horrible things about black people, BLK, men and women, I find it to be odd when they as a collective do not uplift BLK women, but so many BLK women uplift YT men and act like they're the best or the cream of the crop. I said, I for one think that black women, BLK women should date out, should explore their options, should date whoever is the best candidate for them. I just said, I find it to be weird to choose them. There are way many other races and groups of people and nationalities and demographics, however word you want to use, than them. That's all I'm saying. I don't understand choosing them specifically. Other people, sure. That's all I was saying. I can't speak for nobody else, but I wasn't saying anything about black women dating out at all. Like, at all. So, and yes, and I agree with that as well. Because a lot of times women that date out, me personally that I've talked to, they act like you don't have to vet other groups of men. That BLK men are the only ones that you have to vet. They're the only ones capable of craziness, which is not true. And so that's it. But I'm definitely not trying to say, black women should not date out at all. Now I'm gonna be transparent here. I am married to a black man, but I don't see nothing wrong with BOK women dating out. At all. At all. Now, me personally, if I was ever single again, I probably wouldn't date at all. I'm just gonna keep it real with y'all. But if I did, I definitely wouldn't mind dating out. But I will say it would never be somebody YT ever in my life. No, absolutely not. I could never do it. No. But anybody else, sure, sure. Anybody else, any other group, sure. But let me. Oh, okay, proud black woman, great, 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 sis. Because I was wondering, I was like, why is she mad? Like, we definitely not saying that. I don't think anybody was saying that. So I'm glad you understand now. All right, all right. Let me go forward to Gabrielle, and then Kay. Go ahead,
Yeah,
Gabrielle.
yeah, thank you for letting me come up. I just wanted to say, as someone who has dated white team, and I do agree with you. I don't think that they should be like collectively uplifted because I mean, I really just personally, I think men collectively are problematic and have a lot of issues, and I think that's apparent when looking at like the red pill and the manosphere. And you will really see men of all races in there, and I really do think that men of all races, at the end of the day, like a lot of them, like at least 60%, and that's really me being very conservative. I think at least 60% of them will always, choose misogyny over, relationships with women. That is just my view of the collective of men. But I do think that, like you were saying, I know you said that like men should not be, collectively, like YT men should not be viewed as like the gold standard. I do agree with that. I just think it does boil down to like the individual level, like what are this guy, how does this guy conduct himself, is he respectful to women, is he misogynistic, is he not, I think that is really what it boils down to, and that's definitely what I use as a filter, because there have been guys who have been like of all races of like black, white, tea, who have like come up to me. I just can just look at them and just say like it's an automatic no. Like just the energy and the vibe they give off, like that to me is like a huge filter. But I do disagree with, I think it was the person who spoke before me who said something about changing the last name, because you can be married and still keep your last name. So I just don't understand that point that was made. But outside of that, I just want to throw my 2 cents in as someone who has dated IR, and I guess I'll just land there.
Okay, all right, Gabrielle. All right. I'll go to down there to Kay. I don't know if you and Special K, if y'all wanted to talk about it, but I'll go to Kay first. That way she can speak. Go ahead, Kay.
Hello, hello, hello.
Hey.
Um, hello. So I'm gonna be honest. I don't know what the prompt I don't know what the prompt is asking. So can I get like a bit of like establishing what the prompt is trying to say?
I just kind of said it, but I'll say it one more time. I decided to do the live because I was seeing like all of these different posts of like YT people, talking about this whole black fatigue and saying that basically was being tired of black people, being tired of black people talking about their experiences. Excuse me, sorry about that. I'm drinking some wine. Sorry, y'all. Talking about their experiences or whatever, and talking about their difficulties in life, and they were saying they're tired of ghetto hood rat behavior and all of this other stuff. And then seeing all this talk about DEI and all of these things, which are really just code words for we hate N words, and all of the other things that white people have done historically. I was just saying I was very confused at how they can do that as a collective, but yet there are some women that date out that use them as the gold standard, when these men would never do that for them. They would never use black women as a gold standard, and the collective of them are still as racist as ever. So I was just confused about that, because it's like certain women act like the only people to date out with are white people, because you can be in favor of dating out for black women, just not with them. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, that was what the gist of it was about.
Oh yeah, yeah. Yeah, I agree. So I'm mixed myself. So I'm half white, half black, Turkish and Jamaican. So I feel like I can actually put a bit of like perspective into this. I think my like I think when it comes to like interracial dating, I've always been of the opinion like date who you want to date. Date because you love or like someone. Don't date because maybe X race might treat you better. Which I never liked that opinion because I'm sorry, in all races you're gonna find terrible people, and this comes from my experience. So I've never dated like black men before. I'm gonna be honest, I've never dated a black man before, but I have dated Asian and white men before, and I've definitely it's a mixed bag from my personal experience. So like for my Asian partners, yeah, half of them were actually they were generally good people, and the other half were are just kind of like they didn't really like reflect my personal values, so sometimes I felt uncomfortable with them. And this also applied to like my white partners too as well. So I can basically I can just like confidently say that no matter what race you're gonna find terrible people. So that's why I don't believe trying to seek out a certain specific race, especially like no offense, because like you said, a lot of black women do tend to look for white men to see if they can kind of like remedy the issues like a lot of black men do tend to give black women. And I definitely do understand that. Black men do tend to give black women. And I definitely do understand that at a certain extent. But at the same time though, I feel like you said, they should not be the gold standard because like even ignoring like obviously a lot of white men are racist. Like even ignoring that, a lot of white men are also really, really, really crappy people. So I do not get trying to go for a white man just because you might believe he might treat you better. That's just not really true. And that's why I say for like with for black women, I just say I beg, just just date who you like or love. I promise you, like it's not that complicated. Um, but yeah, that's just my personal opinion though.
Okay, all right, Kate. All right, I appreciate you for adding a new perspective in there as well. I appreciate you. All right, let me go down here to proud black woman. Let's see. Let me send your request to turn your mic on. You there, sis?
Hey,
Okay.
hear me?
Yeah, yeah. Go ahead, sis.
Hi. First of all, let me apologize. I was talking about the first lady. I came in and I was walking my dog, and I just the part that I think I got offended was when black women talk about dating white tea men, right? And how I guess we need to worry about racism and all those things, and I get that. My thing is this. I started dating outside my race in high school. So we're talking 1998. First time I brought a white boy home. I can't speak for other black women's experiences, but I will say that my personal experiences were great. They were great. Did I meet some white tea men that were trash that I could tell was right away? And I think somebody just said that. Like, you can tell by the way they approach you, certain things that they say. Oh, I love your caramel skin. You out of there. Like, the moment you say some shit like that to me, we're done. But for the most part, I had better experiences with white tea men than I have with black men. But those are just my experiences. And I think that's just based off of white tea men are more relationship oriented. They're more marriage minded than black men are. So let's start there. I think the reason why black women are putting white tea men on a pedestal is because that's what black men do when it comes to white tea women. And it's all disgusting to me because I'm really big on just choosing the best guy. Interracial dating is not just black and white. I get tired of people coming on my page saying that. You date white men, you date white tea men. I date them all as long as it's a man. I don't care about color. I've dated Hispanic men. I've dated Indian men. I've dated a few Asian guys. When I was 21 years old, I dated a Vietnamese and a Philippine. Are you kidding me? I've been there, done that. I've done it all. So I think we just need to get out of this thinking it's just if you're not going to date black men anymore, which I don't think that that's a smart idea either. But I do understand we have a lot of black women who are divesting. People call me that too. I'm not a divester. I never have been. I date them all. If we could just focus on that, I think black women would be better off because we can't afford to be putting any man on a pedestal because no one has ever put us on a pedestal. We are alone. I love men on an individual basis. I don't love black men. I love certain black men. I don't love white men. I love the white men that I know. And I think if we get towards that thinking, we'll be safer and we'll be able to make better decisions when it comes to men. And that's all I have to say.
Okay.
All right.
I
Does that make
definitely
sense?
no, that makes complete sense.
Okay.
I definitely agree with what you're saying.
Okay.
Like I said, that was not my intent. Like that, I agree with what you were saying. The only thing that I said that I had an issue with is, and I've had plenty of discussions with black women that date out, or
Yeah.
they're upset with black men, which I never give them any flack for that because I can understand why.
Yeah.
I've had plenty of negative experiences with black men. And so I mean, just because I have one positive experience, my husband does not negate all of the other negative experiences that I've had, like my ex-husband and other things in my life. So I would never try to tell a woman like, oh, why are you, why, like, I wouldn't say that because I understand. The only issue that I ever say is that number one, I don't understand putting white tea men on a pedestal when collectively they will never do that for black women ever.
Agreed.
They will never do
Agreed.
that. Collectively, white tea people as a whole, men and women are still very, very, very much racist and discriminatory and hateful and anti-black. So it's just like, well, why are you up here uplifting a group of people like that? And that now, of course, we can all judge people on the individual basis, like individual white tea people, whether they're female or male, cool. But I'm talking about the collective because I have seen black women say things about black men that is like white tea supremacist oriented, and then say things like stereotypes about white tea men and uplift them in ways that I just feel like is like, are you Harriet Tubman would have probably popped you. Like, what are you doing? Why are you saying these things?
Yeah.
I find that to be disgusting when every time I look up, I see white tea people still actively oppressing black people, treating them like crap, trying to hold them back society wise, politically wise, everything. And it's just like, what are you doing? Why are you doing this? That's the only issue that I have. Like, but like I said, it was never telling black women to like stay loyal to black men or anything like that, because I do believe that a lot of the mistreatment that black women receive from black men is due to their loyalty and
It
due
is
to the fact that they know
exactly.
that black
Yes.
women will stay. Because it's like, if you got somebody and you know that no matter what you do to them, they always gonna stick around, they always gonna love on you, they always gonna uplift you, they always gonna pay your bills or pay for you or help you out, then you lose respect for them as the time keeps going on. You take them for granted. And that's exactly what's happening to black women right now. So I would never say that black women should just sit there and be in this, weirdly imbalanced relationship. I just, like I said, I don't want to see no positive things being said about them collectively out of black women's mouths when something happens to us, everybody's silent, including them too. Nobody's
Exactly.
saying nothing about helping us out or protecting us but each other. So it's just like,
Exactly.
that's all I was saying.
That's so awesome. Yeah, you and I have the same mindset with that. I love how I love talking to other you and I have the same mindset with that. I love talking to other black women who are and that's why I say that's another thing that's so funny when people come on my page and they automatically assume, "Oh, you're dating a white tea man, I'm dating a black dude." "Oh, you're dating a white tea man, I'm dating a black dude." There you go. Like I never said I didn't date my own. I said I don't put up with their crap. I don't put up with black men's crap. And everybody around me knows that. Even my father, everybody. It's not a secret. Who I am on this app is who I am in real life. When I'm dealing with black men, I let them know that I've been in interracial relationships. And let me tell you something, black women, when you tell a black man that you've been in interracial relationships, they treat you better. You know why they treat you better? Because they know that you're not loyal to them and you will leave. They know that already. They're like, oh, you've been with a white teen man, you dated Hispanic men. Oh, okay. Yeah, they know I ain't the one. Like I ain't no ride or die. So I've just noticed that it's the same thing what you said. When you have this, oh, I'm just going to be loyal to the black man because he's black, then you're going to get treated like crap, most likely. But when black men see that you're not loyal to them and you will be open to other races of men, they treat you better because they know that you will leave. And black women need to, even if you haven't dated outside your race, black women, just lie and tell a black man that you have. Because one thing I notice about black men, they have no problem sitting in our face. and telling us how many white tea women they've been with. And I don't date those type of black men anyway. I'm a hypocrite when it comes to that. I've dated out. I do not date black men who date out. And it's because of their mindset. And I'm very honest about
May
that.
I ask
So,
why, Mel?
Hey, hold on, Amari. You
Okay.
can't do that.
oh,
You can't interject. You have to wait your turn. Go ahead, sis. Sorry about
so
that.
yeah. So I don't date black men who date out. So I vet them thoroughly. I'm not dealing with your, you're not finna sit in my face and brag about your white tea girl that did this for you. Cause I don't do that to them. I don't sit in a black man's face and talk about what the white tea man did for me back in the day. I don't do that. I don't disrespect them like that. So you're not finna do it to me. But I'm not loyal to black men. I never have been. I never will be. I'm loyal to my father, and I'm loyal to the man who treats me right, regardless of color. So, and I believe that that's why I have never went through a lot of the things that black women have gone through. I've never been in an abusive relationship. I've never been used. I've never been abused because I will pull something out on these dudes. I ain't the one. And they all know that. And
You
they
know
respect
what?
me. So,
You know what, proud black woman,
and
what
that's
you
any
said.
man. Let me be clear, not to cut you off. That's any
uh,
man. I don't care what color you are. If you a white tea man, Hispanic man, and you think you finna come over here and run something, I got something for you. I don't play
Well,
that with no man.
what I was gonna, which I definitely agree with that, what you just said as well. But I also wanted to say what you said about, dang, my mind just went blank right now after you just were speaking. Oh, when you said that, you don't date, be okay men that date out or whatever.
Absolutely not. Absolutely not.
I totally agree with that perspective
Absolutely
as
not.
well because
I don't even find him attractive. I
you
don't
know
find
what?
him
Me
attractive.
neither. Me neither.
The guy I'm talking to right
I
now, like
swear to
that's
you, I
yeah.
feel the same way, and
I don't find him attractive.
it's all about mentality because I feel like that, and you could say it's a double standard, but I really do believe that black women that date out, their motivations are different. I would say 95 to 98% of black women that date out, their motivations are completely different than a black man that dates out,
It
and
is.
they
That's
can't be
why the
trusted.
relationships,
Yes,
yeah,
I
that's why the
agree.
relationships
Yeah,
between black women who date out last longer. We need to talk more about that. The
yeah.
relationships between when black men go out, look at all the hell they're going through. Because it's because of their mindset. They're so busy trying to show black women, oh, I got her, she's better, her hair is real, and all this. I'm not competing. If you've dated none but white tea women, stay over there. And as a matter of fact, I'll help you find another one. That's the type of black woman I am. I'm gonna help you find you one. Because if you think you finna come over here and treat me the way you treated her, I promise you, your mama will be burying you before we even get started. And I'm not playing. So I only date, if I'm dealing with black men, I only date black men who date black women. And I'm gonna ask them questions in the very beginning. And I'm gonna ask all the questions. And the thing about black men is they think that's a compliment. So they're gonna tell you in the very beginning. They're gonna brag. Like if they have, they're gonna be happy to say, yeah, man, my ex was Asian. As soon as he say that, I'm out. As soon as he say that, I'm out. We ain't got nothing else to talk about.
All right,
I
all
do
right.
not date. So yeah, that's all I gotta say about that. I gotta go, y'all. I'm still walking my dog. Thank
Okay.
you for letting me up. I appreciate you, sis.
Oh, no problem. Appreciate you coming up.
Bye, y'all.
All right. Let me go over here to Amari, and then we'll go back up and get everybody else, y'all ladies, this week again.
Good evening, man.
Good evening.
Right. So the thing is, I personally did date an Asian woman. Okay. Now, if 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 I'm about to be in another relationship and she want to ask me who I dated in the past, what does that have to do with me now? That's my question. What is who I dated in the past gonna change what's about to happen?
Triggered, if you want me to take this, I can, but if not, I'll mute.
You can go ahead, PG 1908, if you want to say. I mean, I feel like me and Proud Black Woman already touched on it, so it's just like,
Right. I already heard her
go
talk.
ahead,
Yeah.
PG 1908.
Because Amari, when a BLK male dates outside his race, he typically dates outside his race with the premise and a foundation of hatred of BLK women.
Okay.
He will use the excuse or the ridiculous history that no one cares about, saying that no one like BLK women didn't like him in high school. BLK women didn't like the activities that he was interested in. It's always rooted in a dislike for BLK women. Even if he's dated more than just YT women, Asian women or Latinas, if you ask that particular BLK man, why does he date out? It's always, I don't like BLK women. I don't like their hair. I don't like this. I don't like that. And it's always about BLK women. He can never say what he likes about the non-BLK
You
woman.
right about that. I'm
And then on the flip side, when a BLK woman dates out, she can say what she likes about the guy. And that doesn't matter what race he is, because when BLK women date out, they're not dating out with the hatred for BLK men. It's not even about BLK men. It's about finding the right male that's best for her.
I'm glad you not right. Like, you not wrong. Like, that is true. Like, especially in my circle, you know what I'm saying? Uh the men that I know that date out, that is their intention. They don't care about no potential, you feel me, wife. They don't care about all that. They just have a genuine hate for BLK women. And you spitting. But the point I'm trying to bring out is, when let's say you about to go on a date, and you just gonna completely ignore, like, you gonna completely ignore everything and just be like, I'm out. That's some crazy ass shit.
Answer his question because I have a simple answer too.
I'm here.
Uh,
I'm all ears.
just 1 second, Sage, because I did want to make sure that I got to Special K and Gabrielle, because me and Proud Black Woman was going back and forth for a second. Special K, did you have anything to say, or did you?
Yeah, I don't want to really veer off back into what we were talking about the changing of the last names, but I will say that, like, even though, like, you can still use your last name, it's still going to be like hyphenated. It's still, at some point, you still have papers signed. You might get insurance. You might do so many different things. And I've been married before, and I kept all of my information the same, but at the end of the day, my last name was what it was, when I got married. So yes, did I have to change all my information? No. But when on our marriage certificate, that's what it said, was what my last name was when I got married. So at the end of the day, there are papers that are signed to you and that man, and that was what I was talking about. And it's not, it wasn't meant to be a fact or anything like that. It was just, my lighthearted opinion. I don't know if it's considered lighthearted, but it's definitely an opinion that I've always had, and just my experiences with men of other races, and which I'm just mainly talking about the YT race. Like, I've had terrible experiences with them. Maybe it's because of where I'm from. We're still somewhat segregated where I'm from. So
Where you from, man?
I live in Indiana,
Right.
and
Okay. Yeah, that
so
shit crazy.
we're completely
Yeah.
segregated here. Like when people from Illinois move to Indiana, we like, you move where? You move to Crown Point? What? Do you know what's out there? Like that's how we, like, and it's 2025, and we still have that mindset, not because we're just stuck in that mindset, but just because we still know that it still exists in this area. And this is where the triple, K people, this is where they started at, is in
Indoctrination.
Indiana.
Yeah.
So it's places that we can't even go to right now. Like, when I was working for Amazon a while back, it was a girl who went. She was on the door. She went to deliver something at the doorstep of a YT man's home, and she's a delivery person. And he pulled out, a pew pew on her and told her to never come step on his property again, never come back.
Crazy.
So when you have those experiences, for me, and it's cornfields in those areas. Like, I promise you, I just couldn't date outside when it comes down to that race of people, because I've seen them when they're full blown,
Mhm.
racist, and when they're, just hiding it.
Right.
So at the end of the day, so that's why I feel like tying myself to them, I think it's just gonna, like, put a bad, I don't know, it's just not tasteful to me. Like, I don't know if anybody watched the movie Them, or I mean the series Them on Prime, but you know how, I don't know, did anybody watch that one before? Well, anyways, the people were buying homes in California. They were buying homes there. And um the black people they were trying to come out of the South. And so anybody that bought certain properties from certain areas in California, it said no Negro blood. You know, they didn't want people with Negro blood to even buy property from them. And that being that it's only a movie, I just feel like, you know, there's some similarities to it. They don't want us on this land at all. So why would I tie myself with somebody like that, especially in America? You know, in
Okay.
a YT American person, and that's where I'll land.
Okay. All right. Special K. All right. I'll go down here to Gabrielle because she said that she wanted to respond. I think to you, and then
Okay.
we'll go to Sage. Go ahead, Gabrielle.
Thank you. Yeah, and Special K, I definitely hear what you're saying, where you're coming from. I just kind of did want to respond a little bit because, like, I know you said you've been married before and that there are legalities with paperwork, but that is true for any man, whether he's YT, BLK, Hispanic, Asian. I mean, there's gonna be that paperwork regardless. And I know what you were saying about like where you live from and like racist YT men there, but there are also BLK men who are extremely misogynistic and women who are, you know, tied to those men through financial paperwork as well. There are BLK women who get divorced from BLK men and have to pay those BLK men child support. My mom was actually one of those women when I was a kid. My parents got divorced and she was actually paying him child support. So I really, like, I get what you're saying. Like, obviously, no BLK woman should date a racist YT man, but I just think, regardless of the race of the man, you really do have to, you know, learn about his character and like really vet him. And, you know, I do think vetting can be done, and but I guess I'm just not understanding the point you were making about the paperwork because that really does apply, like, regardless of the race of the man. Like, there's going to be legalities and documentation and all of that. But
Okay.
That's what I'm saying. Like the legalities, if they wanted to take us back to, I'm gonna say, can I say slavery? Can I say that? If they wanted to take us back to owning us again, would you know, how would that be would I be tied to him still? Like could he, you know, that's where my thinking goes. I don't know if it's because I'm a Virgo, so I think like really really deep, but I'm thinking like if they wanted to bring it back, right, where they own us and things like that, would it be easy for him to do that with the fact that he has paperwork on me? He has some type of ownership, you know, on me, right?
when you say
Like that's what I'm
ownership, what do you
thinking.
mean though? I'm just
The
not.
ownership is
Like
kind of crazy.
I feel like that because I'm not against marriage. That's not where I'm coming from. But I'm feeling like, you know, he got this, he got that, you know, my social security, he got this, he got all of this information on me. Does that keep me tied to him if they wanted to take us back? I don't know if I'm just thinking overthinking or just being thinking too deep, but that's where I'm coming from.
No, I hear.
Like
What if it was a
like
BLK male though?
Yeah, yeah, because that's what I'm saying. I'm
a
saying.
BLK male can't own me. Like, how can he own me?
I mean, be there.
Like,
Yeah,
I'm talking about slavery. I'm talking about slavery.
I'm just saying
That's what
that.
I'm talking about.
I guess I'm just trying to say there are BLK men who, like, obviously, like the race, they're the men are different races. But there are BLK men who do marry women who are doing better, and obviously there are all men of races. But since we're talking about BLK versus YT, there are BLK men who do what you're describing, except it just wouldn't have a racial component to it. But there are BLK men who do believe that their wives are their property. I mean, there are BLK men who rap about, you know, I mean, we all know the lyrics and all of that, who have the same view of women that you're talking about with YT men. And when you were talking about, like, if you marry one, like, will you be tied to him? Like, there are things that you can set up, like with prenups, to like protect your money or what have you. I'm just not. So I'm just. I guess I'm just not getting the what you mean about like the ownership part. But
Okay. I will let you guys revisit this, but I'm gonna go down so Sage can get a chance to speak. Because I think Sage wanted to respond to Amari, and then we'll go to John Johnson. Go ahead. And I see you guys' perspective, both of you guys. I'm kind of staying neutral on the topic of what you guys are talking about because that kind of I wasn't even thinking about that. Okay, go ahead, Sage.
So Amari, if I heard your question earlier proper about dating another race of woman and then wondering why you can't come back to black women, or if there's an issue with coming back to black women, this is the problem. A lot of black women, we have dated black men who have dated non-black women, particularly white women. And the problem is that we notice that when y'all date those women, y'all pick up a lot of anti-black behaviors. And we will notice on how you guys speak to us and talk to us and refer to certain things when it comes to us as ghetto, because you have dealt with those non-black women. And a lot of us were just like, we're never going to do it again. And even if we can't physically see your exes, we can see with certain behaviors if you try to date us, if we are not your preference or if you have dated non-black women. So it's not the fact that black women don't want to take black men back who have dated non-black women just because they've been with non-black women. It's just certain behaviors that you guys have after dealing with those women. And we black women, a good chunk of us, we don't do the anti-blackness. When we date, and I'm not saying there's not exceptions to the rule, but when we date non-black men, I do not play any sort of anti-blackness. Like, we are quick to clock non-black men, especially YT men, on anti-blackness. Nothing gets by us when it comes to that stuff. Now, I'm not saying there aren't women that are exceptions to the rules, but if I had a nickel for every time I've heard about a white woman or a non-black woman disrespecting her black male mates and using racially derogatory terms,
Right.
that stuff doesn't slide with us black women. It just doesn't. I hope that kind of clears it up.
It does for sure.
Okay, all right, you guys. All right, then. Appreciate you, Sage. I just want to give a quick shout out to all the ladies on here. PG 1908, Special K, Gabrielle, and Sage. It's always a pleasure to talk to all four of you ladies. Beautiful, lovely, intelligent ladies. All right, so let me go down here to John Johnson. Go ahead, John.
So, what's the percentile? Like, what's the facts? Like, I hear what these women are saying. These black women, right? What's the percentile?
The percentile of what?
If,
What
if
are you talking about?
the percentile of white women, you know,
I know you. You were the one that said something about my lace front wig.
yeah, I did.
Yeah, I remember you.
And
Yeah, you seem
it's not gonna
familiar.
change.
Yeah, because I said you sound like you smoke 10 packs of Newports a day.
And you sound like you suck 10 dicks a day.
Okay, you know what, John
And,
Johnson?
and
That's what we not gonna do, sir.
Yeah,
You
I'm gonna
not
head
gonna
out, though. I'm gonna
sound.
head out. My
Let me
fault
no.
for interrupting.
No. Let me say this, John Johnson, sir. You not gonna sound like RoboCop or Robert F. Kennedy Jr. and come in here and disrespect the black woman. You not gonna do that.
man,
So what
fuck
I
these
need you to do
hoes.
is go ahead and take your little RoboCop bucket head behind somewhere else. Okay, you can go right on to the robot graveyard that you came from. All right. With a robot graveyard that you came from. All right. We don't need, what is that? What's the dude? Zappin' Rogers? What's the dude that did the first auto-tune stuff? What is it? Zappin' Roger? Computer love? We don't need your computer
Computer
love.
love. Yeah,
Girl,
yeah.
we don't need your computer love behind in here. You gotta go, homie. I don't know what you thought, but you would never disrespect a black woman in my presence at all. And definitely not one of my girls that's always on here that I really love to hear. I wouldn't let them do it to nobody, but definitely not one of my ladies. So y'all, you be for real. Sir, you need to go somewhere and redo California Love with Dr. Dre or something. Like you gotta get out of here, homie. Like that. We not gonna play any of those type of games. All right. And you talk about who sucked what. You the one. That's probably why your voice hoarse. Cause you've been doing that. You trying to project on the stage. That's why your voice hoarse. Cause you've been doing all that. You've been doing all that glizzy goblin. All right. But
Like,
anyway, let me stop it. Go ahead, Anunnaki.
what's going on, my black queens? How
Hey,
y'all
how you
doing?
doing?
I'm doing good. I was just let's say black fatigue DEA. I mean DEI in Tulsa, Oklahoma. Black women did it. So is this like topic about like black men dating white women or
I'm sorry, I had to unmute myself. Not really. It's really just about uh, interracially dating. I would guess I would say surrounding black women and who they're choosing and the because I don't feel like explaining it again. But no, not really. If you can understand the prompts, you can answer. But if not, you don't have to. If you want to comment on something that you already heard people talking about, you can. It's up to you.
I just feel like people, men and women, need to go like with whoever they happy with, whether that's Asian, white, like whoever makes you happy and build with you. I think that's who you should spend life with.
I think that's what everybody say here. No, nobody cares who black men date or who they choose. I
Yeah,
think that in 2025, I don't think black women can care, seeing as though they're like a nice little collective of black men that you will literally tell black women and everybody else unprovoked how they go to other women. I definitely don't think that's the issue. Like no one cares. I like I said, I just want to be clear here. This live was not about black men dating out. I would never have a live about that because who cares? Who gives a because honestly, I feel like this any black man is dating out is already a black man that a black woman should never choose. If you're a black man and you date out, you should already be disqualified from any black woman that you come across for the rest of your life.
do you
So
feel
why
like,
would I
do
care?
you,
Why would anybody
do
care?
do you feel that way about black women dating white man, YT man? Like, do
Well,
you
me
feel the same way?
specifically, I don't feel that same way about black women dating white T men. But me personally, I don't even though I'm married, of course. So let me just preface this by saying, so I'm just talking about it from a perspective of me being on the outside looking in. I would never be able to have any dealings with anyone, particularly YT, because of the things that I mentioned in topic one. This whole black fatigue thing, DEI, Tulsa, Oklahoma, the fact that they still are trying to actively oppress and terrorize black people to this day. No, but I don't see anything wrong with black women dating out whoever they choose. I just feel like why you would choose everybody else but them. That's just my own personal opinion, but that doesn't mean that black women are wrong if they choose a white person as well. But as I was saying, Augustus man left. I just want y'all to know I did not drop that guy. He left on his own. He left on his own.
It's not
I
the same. It's not the same when
it's
black
never
women
the
get out.
same. It's never the same. And they want to make it the same so bad, but it's not. And it's so funny because the proof is in the pudding. The proof is always in the pudding. Because if you look at biracial children that come from a black male and a white T woman, or you look at biracial children that come from a black woman and a white T male, or a black woman and another race of man, those children are always way more mentally healthy, way more connected to their black side, way more less self-hating and all of these things. But when they're raised by black men that date interracial, they're all self-hating. They're all I can't help it because the foundation of where they're coming from is built on a self-hating man. And black women are just out there trying to find love. And that's just what it is. And y'all can say it's a double standard all day long, as much as y'all want to say, but it's not a double standard. We have actual proof, actual things that will show you that that is the truth. Like I said, y'all ever, that's why we get the whole, oh, does she have a black mom when she's biracial? Oh, she must got a white T mom because of that exact thing, because it's so easy to spot. So anyway,
Well,
but that dude
no,
left. Like I said, he left. I did not drop him.
I wanted to add one quick thing to that point is that Serena Williams is a prime example. This woman dated nothing but black men, and then she ended up marrying a white man. They don't understand that we black women are bred and raised to be race loyal. We're bred to keep it in the family. A lot of us have dated black man after black man after black man after black man, and then only once we feel like we've exhausted all of our options with black men, that is when we will entertain dating a man who's not of our race. Because look at a lot of our 90s actors, actresses that are in their 40s, in their 50s, in their 60s, who are single because, one, look at their male counterparts, their black male counterparts at their age. Now, some of them, I think, are finally entertaining the idea of dating a man who's not black. And that's all they've done was date black men. So the only thing that bothers me is that black men, I think because of a lot of the guilt that they have for not being race loyal, that they're trying to convince themselves that we black women are just as bad as worse. Because some of these black men are trying to say that we are having nasty illicit relations secretly with white men, which that's not the case. Because I've heard the stories about the athletes on college campuses since the 1970s, the black men who only invite white women to these parties and have nasty illicit relations with them. So that's what they're doing with white women, and they feel I don't even know if it's guilt. I don't know what to call it, but that's why they keep projecting onto us what they're doing, even though they have no proof or no evidence of doing it, and they become hyper aware of how wrong they are when they actually start to get around black women, especially successful black women, and see how race loyal we are, and realize that they can't hold a candlelight to how race loyal we are.
Okay, all right. All right, Sage. All right, let me go down here to Owen and then Ambiance. Go ahead, Owen. Let me send you a request to turn your mic on just in case you cannot. You there, Owen?
Okay, I think that's it. Um, gosh, I don't even know where to start. I guess I'm just going to address Black women dating Black men and dating interracially. I've dated nothing but Black men, and I've been on like hiatus from dating altogether. I'm just tired of dealing with men and their bullshit, all their mess, anyways. But I I have two Black parents, but I've been told I look biracial or might have like there's something there. Like people ask me a lot if I don't like to say it Indian because I don't like to say it Indian because I don't think that's the case. I don't think a lot of people have Indian in their family, but I think, 3C hair. So a lot of Black men in my past have approached me, and I don't think it's because of the way I look physically. No, it's my. I think it's just them wanting it's proximity to whiteness to them. It doesn't matter to them about my personality or about the kind person that I am. It's about gaining access to this proximity to whiteness and having showing off someone on their arm that looks a certain way, and it's like you're a placeholder for them. And I don't remember who it was that was talking about it, but that's my experience with dating Black men. So I just had to step away. I can't anymore. I'm tired of it. Completely tired of it.
Okay, all right. Owen, all right. Let me go over here to Ambiance. Go ahead, Ambiance.
Hello, can you guys hear me?
Yes, sir. I can hear you.
All right, all right. I would like to address the whole entire prompt, if you don't mind.
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, so number one, Black Fatigue, DEI, in Tulsa, Oklahoma. What exactly do you want me to address for that one?
I mean, you can. It's just all like I said. I get. I don't know if you were. I think you were here because I saw you comment earlier. So you know the
Yeah.
gist of what I'm saying. So you can comment on whatever you want to. That's up to you.
Okay, okay, yeah. So when I commented, the conversation from what I heard was more so based on number two and number three. But for number one, I'll just say, for the record, I am Nigerian American, first generation. So obviously, my experience is slightly different from, quote unquote, FBAs or, indigenous Black Americans. However, I will say that Black fatigue, that's a typical thing that, white people would come up with. It's really just a massive display of Stockholm syndrome. It's a massive display of cognitive dissonance. You know, it just seems like very simple concepts like DEI, they just twist it around into something that it's really not. And they always turn the narrative to something that benefits them, even when, you know, their argument has not been substantiated with any sensible claims. And then Tulsa, Oklahoma, I mean, there's really not much to say to that other than the fact that it's clear that the US government does not want Black people to raise and build wealth, society, culture, etc., in a way that benefits and progresses Black people as a body of people. Yeah, so that's what I got to say for number one. I don't know if anybody disagrees with that or has anything that they want to add to that. If not, I can move on to number two.
Yeah, you can go ahead and move to number 2.
All right. So number two, Black women dating Black men and dating IR. What does IR mean?
Interracial dating.
Interracial dating. Okay. So before I answer, I'll preface by saying that I've never dated a white woman or took her seriously. In my experience, white women have always been kind of like a jump off thing.
So you're saying that you have intercourse with white tea women, but
Yeah.
nothing else.
Yeah. When I was younger. Yeah.
Yeah, I still feel like even when Black men say that, I feel like it's the same thing. I mean, you should still be included for any Black woman listening. Like, even if a man tells you that, if he tells you, hey, you know what, I've only had intercourse with white tea women. They were only jump offs. They were only toys to me.
Right.
That's another man that you also want to avoid and put in the disqualification pile, because it's either two things.
Okay.
One, he has the same mentality that we already spoke about, and he just doesn't want to admit it to you. Or number two, he's completely fine with using women for his own physical pleasure and using them like toys. And eventually that mentality and behavior will manifest it in your relationship in some way or another, that he could treat another group of women like that, whether they're Black or not. So either
Right.
way, the man needs to be disqualified from dating. But go ahead. This is not a personal attack on you. This is just to advise the women here in the comments to know that that would also be a man that you would avoid if you want to keep your sanity and you don't want anybody playing in your face. He would be a no.
Most
Period.
definitely. Most
Oh yeah, go
definitely.
ahead.
Yeah. Yeah. So, and, just to address that a little bit. Yeah. I was, I grew up playing sports, high level college athlete, or not really high level, but I guess an average level college athlete. And I went to like it was an all white state. So obviously there were not very many Black women anyway. But I do agree with you to a large extent that, you know, a woman should avoid a man that's not ready to settle down for sure.
Really quick, triggered.
Go ahead, Sage.
So as soon as I hear athlete and you played in college, as a Black man, especially if you did not go to a HBCU or a institution that is predominantly Black,
Right.
that does send up a lot of red flags. Because of all the things that I have heard from all my homegirls who have went to college. I mean, I went to college too, but I was not single at the time. But when I hear that,
Yeah.
it definitely
Yeah,
brings up red
yeah,
flags
yeah.
because a
Sage,
lot of black women, a
let
lot
let
of
him let him say what he about to say.
okay, go ahead.
Sage, I'm interested. Go ahead. Ambiance, go ahead.
All right. Yeah, and to kind of address what Sage just now said, I totally agree with you guys. So I grew up in a white state. Um, so basically, but at the same time, every woman that I was in a serious relationship with was black. Like I made sure to go out of my way to deal with black women because I don't want to have white children. I don't identify like I think that who you procreate with, then you are basically entering into a whole different dimension of reality per se. So yeah. But anyway, so dating black women, dating black men, and dating in real life or interracially. Yeah. So I mean, me personally, I am I guess what you would call pro black. So I don't think that interracial dating benefits black people in any regard whatsoever. I think that there's some kind of allure that maybe a lot of black people have, thinking that by being with a white person or a non-black person that they will be elevated somehow in society, which may or may not be true, but ultimately it doesn't play out the way that those people think. And yeah, but I think that the only time that black people as an entity, as a body, could even try to, play with that fire of interracial dating is if black people had the power, if black people had the resources, the organization, the authority, you know,
I'm be
because
honest, we're 13%
yeah,
of the population. That the power is never going to happen at 13%. So my question to you is what exactly is your point? I mean, I get you're addressing the topics, but what did you have to contribute to the topic? I mean, you said that you were an athlete in college. There weren't a lot of BLK women around. You just played with the Beckys. Okay, you're saying all that to say what?
I was I was getting to it. You just cut me off. But what I was trying to say was that interracial dating does not benefit black people where we are right now.
How does staying
Yeah.
race loyal as BLK women, how is that beneficial?
Say that again.
How would being race loyal be beneficial to BLK women?
How would
If
being
if
race?
they
Yeah.
if Johnny had five apples, if BLK women only dated BLK men and limited all of her dating options to BLK men, how would that be beneficial?
Um, well, to answer that question, can I ask you a question just to get some clarity? Um, are you looking at it from like a mundane real life perspective or like from like a spiritual
What other way would I
genetic?
look at it? I mean, we're looking at real life. We're looking at the stats. BLK women only being married at 33%, BLK men only being married at 26%. So the marriage percentages are not even, it doesn't even make sense to limit your options to a pool of men who are only married at 26%.
Well, I don't think that black women marrying out of their race is beneficial to them. I,
Why not? Because if they limit themselves to one specific group of men and that group of men only marry at a rate of 26%, you tell me how does that make sense?
um, I think that I think that I mean that's a good question. I
I
just
know it is. That's why I'm asking.
yeah, yeah. Right. I just think that I think that
I'll be honest. Look here.
what's
I'm
up?
gonna save you. I'm gonna save you, sir. Listen, I don't know. You know what I'm saying? I don't know if you saw that there were black women on here that, and you know, you wanted to, like Miss Chrissy Baby said in the chat, you know, you wanted to do like an audition tape or what. I'm not really for sure what your goal was on here.
Audition?
Because yeah, I don't know if you wanted to throw your you know, to kind of throw some feelers out there to let any black woman know that if you're around to waste her time, because you already said that you've always chosen black women, which means that you're not married to a black woman. You don't sound like a, you know, like a man that's in his teens or 20s. So I don't, there's no women that you have entertained to marry. So any women that you've had intercourse and you've been with, you wasted their times too, as well
Actually,
as the,
I have two girlfriends right now that
you
I'm with.
have two girlfriends right now. Okay,
Yeah.
so once again, you're wasting women's time, having them share dilapidated peen that you've also shared to mediocre white women. I
And then he
just,
said he was Nigerian, so he probably already got a wife back home. His family already probably got somebody lined up for him.
the,
Man, get off this
the
damn
jokes
panel.
No,
write themselves.
that's
Like the jokes write
that's
themselves. No. I can't take you seriously no more. I already couldn't take you seriously when you were talking really slow like that. Because when y'all talk slow like that, that just means that y'all are trying to formulate y'all lie and what y'all are thinking. Either that, number one, or number two, that y'all are so intellectually, you know, at a disadvantage in a conversation that y'all can't even keep up with what everybody's saying. But let me just make this clear here, sir.
I mean, I went to Princeton,
Any
so
you
I don't
going to
think I'm
Princeton
slow.
means absolutely nothing at all, because if Princeton is what gets you
Where did you
a
go?
low IQ, not being able to speak on the
My
uptake,
IQ
not
is
having piss poor
156. My father
vocabulary,
was an
having piss
inventor,
poor
so I'm not.
vocabulary, and not recognizing the
uh,
idea of what you're saying, then Princeton did you no good. Your
What
parents
hall did
wasted
you
your
stay
money.
in at Princeton?
Come on now. And then the idea that he said like he was like an average athlete and there
you
were no
know,
black women
I
around.
didn't come
Please
here.
don't interrupt. Please don't interrupt. Don't say nothing else or I'm gonna drop you.
I didn't come here to
Okay, let
argue.
me go ahead and drop you. You didn't come here for nothing. Because actually you came here to get dropped. And that's exactly what just happened to you. Now I kicked you out. Now I'm just gonna go ahead and roast you like I was going to. And now you have the humiliation of having to wait in the comments and hear it. So let me say this, okay? This whole idea that y'all go to like these PWIs and there are no black women around. There are always black women around. There's always a choice to choose a black woman if that's what you want to do. My husband went to a PWI and was an athlete on a full ride scholarship. And guess who he was talking to there? Black women. So please stop the games. If you, not that I'm trying to make you choose black women, but don't use it as an excuse. If you wanted to choose black women, you would choose black women. That's number one. Number two, you talking about how you ran through these snow bunnies and now you got two girlfriends. And this, like I said from the very beginning, you were a red flag, a man that's wasting women's time. You're not giving women marriage. You're not giving them anything except giving them the opportunity to get a used up, shriveled up, probably disease ridden sausage for them to ride on and share amongst each other. You found two black women with low self-esteem willing to share you. Like, how absolutely dreadful. And that's exactly what I'm saying to any ladies that's listening. Like, when y'all are dating or when y'all are vetting men or when y'all are talking to men, men will always give away that they're trash. You just have to listen. You cannot listen to what you want to hear. You have to listen to exactly what they're saying. Just like when he first came in here and he said, oh yeah, the white tee girls were just jump off. Yeah, the white tee girls were just jump offs. I was just using them. First red flag that lets you know that he's a sociopath or a narcissist or just an all-around bad person that doesn't mind using individuals. Then you hear how he was talking real slow, like he was one of the children left behind. Sounding like the last book that he read, in Princeton, the last book that he read in Princeton was also the Cat in the Hat College Edition. Okay, let me just say, Cat in the Hat College Edition. All right, so they put the words a little bit smaller for him. That's what he was reading in college. And now for him to say that he has two girlfriends, not even two wives. Even if a woman, a black woman, tolerates disrespect and tolerates getting okey doke, she still can't even get the title of being called a wife. She still got to be the girlfriend, even sitting there and sharing this ashy Negro. You get what I'm saying? So I just y'all prove our points every day. And it's so crazy because I be saying like, oh, well, one day, maybe if we have enough conversations, maybe if we hold black men accountable, maybe if black women, stop dealing with them, stop talking to them, stop having anything to do with them for a while, they'll see the truth. But every day y'all disappoint me. Every day y'all give all of the everything for everybody. It's so absolutely embarrassing, man. Like it's exactly. They cannot course correct. It's literally insane. Like I don't even know what else to say. Like it's actually disturbing.
Yeah, to me, it's still the abuse of women, but now you're just choosing to abuse the women who look like you. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly. You want to say like, hey, well, black women are the first in line for me to okie doke. Black women are the first in line for me to disrespect and take advantage of. Y'all should be happy because when I think about a woman that I want to take advantage of and degrade and use up and devalue, it's you first, black queen. I go to you, black queen, not the white tea woman. I go to you to play in her face. Don't you feel proud about that? What?
And then he's down in the comments thinking that we're like promoting interracial relationships when that's the farthest from what you're even saying. Like he didn't even for him to have gone to Princeton, he couldn't
Oh,
even
wait a minute. I'm
comprehend.
sorry. I'm sorry, Special K. I gotta say something. This man just told me that he went to Princeton. He just told me that his IQ was so high, and this man just misspelled promiscuous in the comments. For anybody that cannot see these chat words, this man spelled promiscuous Permiss. Promiscuous. We permanent here now? Well, are we permanent here or are we promiscuous? Make the choice. Oh my God. You see what I'm saying? You see how these big dogs be coming up here lying? Why would you come up here lying, sir? You ain't been in no Princeton. You ain't even been to a community college. You ain't even be an electrician. You ain't even got
And
a
he
trade.
probably ain't even Nigerian either. While we at it, lying ass.
I can't believe
That's
you.
funny.
How dare you? How dare you play in my face like that, ambiance? You gonna sit there and tell me that you got this high IQ, you went to Princeton, you this athlete, when I know the truth that right now you are in your grandma's house on her couch that is covered in plastic, eating some hot Cheetos and drinking a cherry Coke. Right now, that's what you're doing. And you got the game controller right in your hand. That's exactly what's going on. Your butt is sticking to your grandma's plastic couch right now. You know doggone well you ain't go to no Princeton. You can't even spell promiscuous. Talk about some promiscuous. Like, are you laying edges or what? Boy,
Like for real. It's just abusive. It's just abuse. It's just abusive relationships. And two women, like he can't even show his face. He can't even show his face. How are we supposed to believe that he has two women? That two women are really willing to put up with him? Like I don't understand that. I No, not in America. I just can't see it. Maybe he has found a pick me or some dummy or something like that, but I don't know.
girl, he found two
I
women at
just
the homeless shelter. If he got anybody, he found two women at the homeless shelter. And he told them, looky here, you know what? You don't want to be on the streets no more. I will make y'all, both of y'all, a pallet at my granny house. And I
He
know
got
that
two
I
women
don't
on a
got a bed
video
for y'all to
game.
sleep
What
in.
trigger? What's those video games where you can create the person and create your own world? He got two
Sims? You
women.
talk about
Yeah, he
Sims?
he got two women on that. That's the two women he
I
talking
envy
about.
you.
Lying ass.
Um, excuse me.
Oh my goodness. Oh, go ahead, Queen.
Hi, how you doing? I just wanted to go up there and say I love your YouTube channel. I watch you. You're great. You're hilarious, and um, yeah, I just wanted to go up there and big you up one time. Um,
Thank you so much, Queen.
you are so welcome. But yeah, I just wanted to come in here and big you up real quick and go up there and yeah, you guys have a good night and yeah, all right, peace.
All right. Thank you so much, Queen.
You're welcome.
But yeah, y'all, I'm flabbergasted, y'all. It's so embarrassing. Like truthfully, like the jokes write themselves. And like PG 1908, she be coming on here and she be giving it to the dudes. And you know, somebody might see her delivery, or even proud black women that comes on here, or other women, and say, "Oh, why the women kind of they be giving it to the men." But when y'all see men like this, and y'all see that they really exist and be out here in these streets, now do y'all see? Now do y'all see why black women have to be like that? Do y'all see now why I treat them the way I treat them?
Yeah,
Because
we gotta
it's
protect
insanity.
ourselves.
Go ahead, sis.
No, I was just saying, I was just agreeing with you. I'm just like, yeah, we got to protect ourselves. Put, we have to put up that, I guess you want to call it a smoke screen, or a wall, a brick wall, two brick walls. We got to protect us, because she definitely clocks everything that he was. But I was seeing it too, because he was talking slow. You know, even though he so-called went to Princeton, he still don't know how to communicate with women.
But see, that's how you can clock them those Special K. And see, I was like, I'm on to this fool because he want to sit up here and talk about he's Princeton, and a lot of these dudes are coming into these lives and they're trying to present themselves like they're different, like they're not red pill, they're not the Pookie, they're trying to clean up their presentation. I was like, okay, I know how to skin a dummy. All you have to do is just be smart. All you have to do is ask them questions that you know they can't answer. And guess what? He fell right into the trap. Because I was like, if you so smart, you're gonna be able to answer all the questions that I'm about to ask you. So I just started drilling him. That's how you
Girl,
that's how you call out dummies. You just start talking to him smart. Because I know he's not my
facts.
intellectual match. So I was like, I'm about to get him. We about to go ahead and pull this cover off this Scooby-Doo character.
Facts. And he couldn't answer, he couldn't respond, not at all. And then had the nerve to say in the comments that this is why you guys are gonna unalive alone. Sir, if somebody had the choice between unaliving alone, or taking D from a man with a STD ridden, deflated, peen that only functions if you use Blue Chew or some type of aid. Come on now. Well, I think that any woman would be more than happy. They would be foaming at the mouth to unalive alone than to choose you. How in the world does any black woman that has anything going for herself look like sharing a man that cannot even spell promiscuous as a grown-ass man? Like, honestly, that will come up here as a man that is definitely 35 and up, because I know that you at least 35. Talking about you got girlfriends and people supposed to share you. Like, and what's crazy is that y'all don't even have enough peen to go for one woman. But y'all want to give that 5-incher to two women and have them share 2.5 each. And y'all think they supposed to be happy and satisfied. You think you doing something. I don't know what the women got going on. I don't know if you give them your EBT card every month, and they can go to the store, grocery store once a month and ball out. Because groceries are expensive. That's the reason why they accept it. Or maybe they're imaginary, just like PG 1908 said. You got a little Sims 1908 said, you got a little Sims game and you didn't create it. Two girls there, and you fantasize about how you wish you could have two women to touch on you. Or when you get your you know what I'm saying, or when you get your your monthly allotment of TANF. Maybe you go somewhere and you go over there to your local area, wherever that is, and you get your $20 ready for the local, y'all know what I'm saying, on rugs. She's racked out on rugs and she accepts $20. And if you get lucky, you got 40, you can get two of them. I don't know. But I refuse to believe that you are doing anything of any positivity. Ambiance forever. Listen here, you send me a request. You send me a request to come up. I need you to understand something. I don't give men grace at all. You got one time and one time only to do something stupid. You got one time and one time only to say something crazy. You got one time and one time only to disrespect. You got one time and one time only to lie. You got one time and one time only to just irritate me and annoy me. And you got one time and one time only to just irritate me and annoy me. And you are completely gone forever in a day. So I really need you to understand that maybe your mama played games with you and that's the reason why you're on here lying about your life. Or maybe your granny gave you multiple chances, but I don't. Once I drop you, that means you're not coming back. So stop the games. There's no reason to bring a liar back. You're a liar. You are a liar. And I really need you to understand lying online, that's weird. That's weird behavior. Like grown people lying, that's strange. Why is you lying? Like we didn't ask you for none of this stuff. I didn't ask you to come up and get in this live box. You could have just said what you want to say in the chat and nobody would have said nothing to you. I have no idea why you would come up here and get in the chat and lie. And then that you would come up here and get in the chat and lie about having an IQ of 5 million and you went to Princeton and you were this, that, and the third, and you can't even spell promiscuous. Like, it's just mind-boggling to me. Like, about y'all, like, it's insane. It's literally insane. It's literally insane. Like, you gotta do better, bro. Like, really, at this point, it's not even funny. Like, you literally gotta do better. Truthfully. And you know what? I'm going to give you game, right? Since you're so imaginative to a career, you could actually be an author. You know, you could take all the fantasies of what you want to do in your life. You know, you could take all the fantasies of what you want to do in your life or what you wish you could do, and you could make a story about two women with a man. You know what I'm saying? And you can leave out the part, this reality where you sleep on your grandma's, and you can leave out the part, this reality where you sleep on your grandma's plastic covered couch, but then you could actually make some money from it. You could do an ebook, like it's a lot of things that you could do. You could even go in like red pill spaces and market the book. And then you could reach your target audience of other incel losers that aren't able to get women that lie. And they probably will buy your book. Now, see, that is free game that I gave you as a black woman. And I didn't have to do that. I showed you grace. I didn't let you back up here, but I did help you. So do that, brother. PG 1908 said the man went to Hillman. Oh my God. He was over there with Lisa Bonet and Whitley and Dwayne Wayne. Stop it, PG 1908.
Shada was up there with Ron. He was he was hanging with Ron on campus. They was at the pit.
Oh my gosh. Stop it. Stop it. Oh my goodness. I can't take it.
Graduated from East Side High, lying ass.
Oh my God. I can't take it. Oh my goodness. Go ahead, T. Go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, listen, I'm cracking up. Like, y'all getting on my nerves. Y'all getting on my nerves. First of all, he did not go to Princeton. He went to prison. That's number one. I don't think y'all heard him correctly. That is really what he said. He said he went to prison, not Princeton. Okay. And another thing is how
Oh. Stop it,
furthermore,
T.
He got beat up by
furthermore,
Joe Clark. That what happened.
listen, furthermore, I find it hilarious how men like that will double talk themselves, will talk about how mean and how horrible the white teen man is, but then want to brag use being up in a white teen man's college. Oops.
Yep.
Oops. I mean, I thought the white teen men was so bad and so evil, but the moment you challenge they so-called intellect, they go, I went to Harvard. But I thought you was against the white teen man education. I thought you don't need the white teen man's degree. I thought you don't need the white teen man's paperwork. But yet to try to shut me up and try to humble me, now you're going to bring up, oh, I went to Princeton. I went to Yale. Okay. I see you. I see you. It's always those black men that always believe that they can beat the system because they so smart. But really all they doing is doing some, like you said, some incel stuff. Doing that Paul nigga me shit. Like, you already know. When I hear a black man saying, I got two women. All right. You need your bills paid. I get it. You need your bills paid. And you think by having multiple women is some type of rebellion against the system. Listen, the white teen man already clocked that. That's why they made polygamy illegal. They're not going to make it legal anytime soon. And if they did make polygamy legal tomorrow, y'all still wouldn't marry two of those women. Y'all still wouldn't marry them. Not legally, of course. So, and I find it funny that he said, y'all being promiscuous. Then what do you call sharing one man? Multiple women sharing one man. What do you call that? I don't know. That didn't make no sense to me. Like talking about y'all promiscuous. Y'all don't need to be promiscuous, but we all need to share one man. That's better. I don't understand how that, like, not for nothing. Like, I was kind of almost curious, but I'm not curious to hear what he got to say. But it's kind of like, how can you actually say that that's better? You know what I'm saying? I'm like, yeah, I like my pH balance exactly the way it is. You
Yep,
know,
yep.
Yeah, that's good right there.
I'm just saying, like, come on, come on. This is too much. You can't make this up. The joke's writes itself.
It really do. It really do. And it's embarrassing. Like, honestly, like, it's like legitimately embarrassing because I be coming on here saying, like, well, eventually the black community has to come together somewhat because we still have to share space with BLK men. And so maybe if we talk about this, they'll understand. But every time it's just like proven over and over again that the collective is just not it's just not in a space to get it. And it's just like, what else can you do? Like you said, like it's just right there. The jokes write themselves. It's just ridiculous. Like it's real crazy. But I'm gonna go up here and let everybody else speak again. I'll go to PG 1908 and then Special K.
All right, yeah. I don't know. I really didn't have any closing points, but I just think black women need to be strategic in dating. And based on ambiance and his no spelling ass, couldn't even get into Hogwarts. You can't even get to a fake witch school. Like, y'all really got to be strategic. Stop hyping up any man, no matter what race.
Not
And
Hogwarts.
man, he couldn't even get into Hogwarts. Triggered, seriously. This dude, you can't even get to a fate witch school. Like that's just how loser level these guys are. But y'all be safe out here.
All right, sis. All right, let me go over here to Special K.
Yeah, I don't really have too many closing points myself, but just remember when they say they dated outside their race, make that a red flag. Cause I mean, I never been attracted to men who date outside their race. Like I can literally already see it, like coming a mile away. I'm like, yeah, you date YT women. I can tell. I see it. It's always. I don't know if it's something in the mouth or it's something in the like the I don't know. It's something in their face that just they always look the same. Oh my gosh. I'm like, I don't know. But yeah, if he say it, if they say they dated outside their race, yeah, it's a if they and just like the guy that we've been talking about, like if he say, oh, black women at the top of my list, but I dibble and dabble here and there, with different types of other people too. Yeah, that's a red flag. Just watch out for them for sure.
All right, you know what, you guys? I've been drinking some wine, so I'm a little free with my mouth than usual. But I wanna ask you say something to y'all. Y'all tell me if y'all think it's true or not. Now, I don't see this phenomenon with black women for the most part. Like occasionally, but I would say like 95 to 98% of the time, I don't see it with black women. But I will say that I have 100% success rate in this. I can always tell when a black man dates non-black women, and definitely white tea women exclusively. I can always tell because there is something like Special K was saying, it's something in their demeanor, it's something in the way they speak, it's something in the way that they carry themselves. Like it's just very, very, very obvious, and it's so off-putting to me. Like it's just automatically disgusting. And honestly, there are BLK men that are celebrities that a lot of black women think are attractive. But if you actually see them out, like, okay, so I was getting irritated because I did see Sinners. I thought Michael B. Jordan did a great job. But I saw black women going crazy over Michael B. Jordan, and we already know Michael B. Jordan and how he feels about BLK women.
You
I,
see
I
it?
never I never
I didn't
believed.
see the movie.
Oh,
Wait,
you
I
didn't
didn't
see?
see the
I'm not gonna
movie.
say nothing about the
Oh,
movie.
okay, okay, okay. Thank you.
I never believed that anything that Michael B. Jordan, like when he was with, I think it was Lori Harvey, I never believed that that was an authentic relationship, because that relationship popped up when he was receiving a lot of backlash from black women about him, not preferring BLK women, and every time they saw this man partying or out in the club or out at parties, that he was surrounded by nothing but snow bunnies. But I will say that if you look at Michael B. Jordan outside of roles, and especially if you see him interacting with non-black women, more specifically white tea women, it oozes off of him that that's what it is, and it's so off-putting and unattractive. Like, I just can't see what other black women see in him. It's just so gross. And it's another man that I think he's definitely attractive, but if you see him speak, like, and not outside of movie stag, what is his name? If you guys have ever watched the series Evil, he also was Luke Cage. I forgot his name, but he's very attractive to me. Well, he's attractive to me. I
With
don't
the
know.
bald head.
Yes, the one with the bald head. Like,
Alright.
if you see him like in the movies, you may not feel it. But if you ever see him speak, like, you can tell. Like, and I don't know what it is about it that you can see. And it's just like, I don't know. It's just like, so like, it's like almost like a submissive, docile nature that they have when they speak and when they talk and they carry themselves like they're bending over backwards to almost like take some of the masculinity and soul out of their bodies so that they are not threatening to the people that they are in proximity the most, which are non-black people. It's like a very weird thing. But if you pay attention, like, you can totally see it. And sometimes, you may be see it in like simple things like the way they wear their hair or like their lineup or they edge up or how they dress. But even if I have a black barber or something like that, you can tell in exactly the way they carry themselves. And I ain't gonna try to be messy, but it's a couple. I ain't gonna be messy, y'all. I know I've been drinking, but I'm not gonna be messy.
What
But
are you
it's
talking
some
about?
some it's some black male creators that's
Put it in the comments.
I'll just say it's some black male creators on here that's on this app that cater to black women. That if you take your time to listen to them talk, you wouldn't be surprised that their wives are white tea women. They don't like you. You can
For real.
clearly tell what type of time they're on. And I don't know. It's just gross. But anyway, let me keep going, y'all, cause I ain't no telling what I'm about to say. This wine is kicking in, y'all. So let me be quiet. Let me be
You ain't
quiet.
bothering us.
I ain't trying to be messy. I try to be messy, y'all. Let me go down here to Gabrielle. Go ahead, Gabrielle.
Yeah, thanks for letting me come up again. Yeah, I think, what was that guy's name Antonio? I don't even remember the name, but yeah, that comment he made about, I see, I think he said white women is like what do you say, a one-off or like a
Oh,
something.
ambiance. Yeah,
Oh, yeah, yeah.
you said jump offs.
Jump off. Yeah, I just was just gonna say that, like, that attitude about women, period, like regardless of the race of woman, like that kind of, when I mentioned earlier that I said I think men as a collective of all races have a misogyny problem, like that is exactly what I was talking about, because I have, like, over the past like 3 years, like, I've just been like quietly lurking in these manosphere groups, and I see all kinds of races of men in there, BLK men, YT men, men of all races. And I really do think that for many of them, I think that their misogyny, it comes first and foremost for them. So they, whether, regardless of their race a lot of the times. And so I just think with dating, it's so important to vet the guy regardless of his race. Does he treat people well? Like, how does he treat you well? What are his views about women? I just think that really is the most important thing, regardless of the race of man, because I think a lot of them really do have this deep seated misogyny. I mean, like there are like governments in different places around the world, like trying to de-radicalize young men and trying to de-radicalize boys, and so I just think it's so important. But I do, Trigger, definitely agree with you that, like, I don't think YT men or any race of man should be collectively, put on a pedestal, because none of them collectively respect women. Like, sure, there are individual men who are great. I don't think every man is bad, but men as a collective, I just don't think that they respect women. I think a lot of them look at women as objects to use, as property. I just think it's so important to be mindful of that. So yeah, I'll just land there.
All right, Gabrielle. Yeah, I mean, I definitely agree with you. I think that that's my only issue, and I just want to make sure that I reiterate it and say it again. There is a double standard for me. I can't speak on anybody else, but there is a double standard for me specifically. I don't want to speak for all the ladies on the panel, but it's a double standard for me in the way that I view black women dating out versus black men dating out. And the only thing that I ever would tell black women is just to make sure that, you just vet every man individually and make sure that he's a good fit for you, a good match for you. He respects you. He loves you. And that's really it. And don't just think that the only people you have to vet are BOK men, but you have to vet every man. But I still say wholeheartedly, I am an advocate for BOK women to date out, to explore their options, to find their soulmate. But I think I also say, because I don't want to be hypocritical on here, I did say that something about white tea men specifically gives me the ick just because of the historical context, the things that have happened, things that are happening, the things that they are often completely silent when things happen to black women. So the what I see, the putting them on a pedestal is gives me the ick. But if you're not that type of black woman, I see nothing wrong with you expounding your options to whoever you want to. I just said that if I ever was in a position of being single, and that's just me, I would date out. I would. I just would never date out with them. But that's all I was ever trying to say. But I definitely agree with everything that Gabrielle said. But I don't know if you had something else to say, Gabrielle. I just want to make sure that black women knew I wasn't trying to shame them specifically, because I'm not.
Yeah, no, for sure. Like, I totally agree with you. I do. I know you mentioned earlier thing about BLK men dating out, having a certain vibe. Like, I've actually never dated a BLK man, so I just can't speak to that aspect of it. But in terms of like, like vetting men and like not putting white tea men or men on a pedestal, period, I definitely agree with you on that, 100%.
All right, sis. All right, well, let me go over here to T. Go ahead, T.
Yeah, I agree 110% with what Gabriella was saying. That Gabriella was saying that, or it's all men until it's none. In my personal opinion, you can never underestimate a man in another race, regardless of his culture, regardless what country he comes from. There is some type of form of misogyny or a history of misogyny, and that's why I mean, I've never dated outside my I would say this. I've only been with Hispanic men, black men and Hispanic men. Those are the only type of men I've been with. And I know there's some ladies that, will agree that Hispanic is not the same as black. I mean, what I was raised up, like, black and Hispanic people was damn near the same. So I never really looked at it was dating outside my race, honestly speaking. That's just my personal opinion when it came to Hispanic men, because anyone who knows, like my son, his father is Panamanian. So like, if you look at him walking down the street, he looks like a black man. Like you would never would think that he's Hispanic until you hear him talk to his mother and he speaks Spanish, which I hope, Trump get rid of his mother, but that's just my own personal, satisfaction. But anyway, moving on. You're not the only one that have been drinking wine, Trigger. I'm just going to say that. Like I said, that's my own personal satisfaction because the chick is evil. She's evil. So any cahoots. With that, like you said, like, that's why I be telling women, if you are going to marry a man, you have to get clauses, you have to get a prenup, and I'm gonna keep saying it over and over and over. Please, ladies, whatever type of man that you date, and of course, you gotta make sure, as I always say, make sure he's financially stable, but also make sure he treats you well, that he pedestalizes you. I don't care what nobody say. I don't care. Women are the prize, and I wouldn't settle anything less than a man not treat me like prize, like my husband. Absolutely not. If you're not gonna pedestalize me, I don't want you, straight up and down. And you're not gonna be treated bad just because you put me on a pedestal. I will respect you. I will treat you good. I'll be nice to you, but you just gotta love me more than I love you. And I'm just gonna straight up say it like that. Always get these clauses. Get a DV clause. You get an infidelity clause. You get an STD clause. You get a free from debt clauses, which I have to go into detail and explain to women about that. Your husband debt do not have to be your debt. You can put that in a clause as well with the prenup. When he do with it, if he messed up, that's his problem. That's his credit. That do not have to reflect on you and your credit. Like I said, I'm gonna get into details about that later. But any kuhu, like I said, as long as black women are being treated well by whatever type of man, I will always be for black women. You know, if that means dating outside your race, go ahead, do it. Or you don't have to date no man at all. You could be single for the rest of your life. You don't have to be with no man at all. So, yeah, that's all I'm just going to say. The first person you should fall in love with and date is yourself. I know that sounds corny. I know that sounds like a cliche, but the first person you should love is yourself anyways. I'm just saying.
All right, T. Okay. Definitely agree with what you were saying. Let me go down here to Aurora. Yeah, let me send you a request to turn your mic on. You sent me a request. Let's see here. You there? Oh shoot, I accidentally. Okay, you there, Aurora? Let me send you another request to turn your mic on. You might have actually invited by mistake. All right, I'll drop you because you might have added yourself by mistake. I just wanted to say, to black women, like, and this is something that I really thanks so much for coming up, Special K. I just wanted to say for black women that are listening to this, like that, are possibly dating or possibly still open to the the option or the reality of having a man or dating or anything like that. I just want to say, you cannot believe the things that men say. All you can do is believe their actions and what they show you, because men will lie about virtually everything, as y'all saw was very evident with Beyonce that was up here. The actions will tell it all the time. It will 24/7, 100% of the time. A man's actions will always show the way he truly feels or what he truly thinks. And also, a man will show his true colors. I know there are a lot of women that say that like vetting is impossible. Like it's impossible to vet men. And of course, nothing is foolproof and nothing is 100%. But, insurance companies is a perfect example. I've said this before. They use vetting. They find out how old you are. They find out your health history. They find out your driving. They find out where you live. They find out what type of car you have. They find out how where you live at, how old you are, what's your previous history in driving, all of these things for them to make the decision on, whether they're going to, give you insurance or not, or how much it's going to be, or if you're a viable candidate to be covered by their policy. And that's exactly how women have got to look at the dating process. I know that seems very, I guess very like cold and calculated, but to be a black woman in this world, it's because we have so many enemies and we have so many people seeking to take advantage of us and use us. We have to be cold and we have to be calculated and we have to be, one step ahead. And honestly, a man and honestly, a man, I would, people will probably be mad at me, but I have to say it. I would venture to say 95% of the time when black women have got by a man, there were red flags in advance that they saw that they chose to ignore. And I am not anyone that is exempt from that. My first husband, if anybody would have, there were red flags there. There were things that I notably ignored for sure. And, I paid for that in everything that I experienced at the hands of my first husband. So I really do believe, me talking to now thousands of women DMing me, talking to me, telling me their stories, I feel like I can say with 100% certainty that the majority of women, at least 95%, when you have been gotten, or what is it, got by a man, you saw some type of red flags in advance and you ignored it. Now, you could have ignored it because you were lonely. You could have ignored it because you were desperate to get away from your parents and their control, like I was. You could have done it just because, you just wanted to believe it because you thought he was fine or sexy or attractive or whatever reasons that you had for what you ignored. But you ignored it. And that's the reason why I really want women to understand that vetting is possible. It is something that you can do. And I really do feel like it has like a 95% success rate because men are not stupid. I don't think that men are stupid, but I do think that they are not able to keep a facade if you are watching. And definitely if you are withholding intercourse, which this has nothing to do with religion or anything like that. It has something to do with protecting yourself and making the smartest decision. If you withhold sex and you don't have intercourse with a man, you will be able to see so clearly his behavior. He will so clearly show you his behavior. There will be so many things that you will be able to witness. And like psychologists say, I say this a lot, they say 6 months to a year is the longest that a person can stop and withhold showing their true colors, right? 6 months to a year, but most people it will be 3 to 6 months. And especially if you're withholding intercourse from a man, he'll probably show you those true colors even sooner than that. So you will be able to see what type of man you're dealing with and you can say no. But if you go out, you go sleep with the man on the first date, the second date, the third date, now all of a sudden he done broke your back. And now, you know what I'm saying? Whatever didn't happen, if he did put it on you, if you did have three climaxes, now all of a sudden you trying to rationalize why he's not a pookie. Even though when you went over his house, he didn't have no toilet paper or no body wash, and he had a roommate. And he was calling women females. You know what I'm saying? So it's just like you've got to put yourself in the position to win. And the best way is to really be extensive. Not telling the man where you live at, where you stay at, where you work at, getting his name and information and background checking him, seeing if you can find info on him, telling them no intercourse because that ain't gonna show a man's true colors. That's going to show a man's true colors all day, every day if you tell him he has no opportunity to get the draws. It's just so many different things I really feel like as a woman we can do to protect ourselves. But there are so many other women that will tell you that you're powerless, and you're not. You're not powerless. Men are not that smart and able to manipulate you. The reason why most women get manipulated is because they want to. It's because they want that man so bad that they're willing to lie to themselves about how he feels about them. You know, when you see those like goofy women that be on like YouTube and they'll be like, or they be on TikTok too, they be like, oh my gosh, like, does he love me? I mean, what he does is I work 3 jobs and I pay all the bills. And when I came home after my job number 3, I caught him in the bed with my sister. But he did tell me after all of that is that he loves me. Do y'all think he loves me? Because I don't know. He said it. And you know what? I just don't want to let him go because I spent so much time. And you already playing the goofy. You know what I'm saying? So it's just like there's so many women that lie to themselves about the type of man they have. But I don't want to go off on a tangent, y'all. You know what I'm saying? Because like I said, I all I'm saying is black women, you are not powerless. These men are not smarter than you. They're not smarter than you. And if you're saying they're smarter than you, it's only because you want to have something to blame. You know, you ignoring this man's everything that he showed you. You know what I'm saying? That's all I'm saying. Like, you can protect yourself. You can. And I'm not saying that there isn't a small percentage of women that may have been truly bamboozled, you know, but I do believe that those black women are outliers and it's a very small percentage. But anyway, let me just keep going. Go ahead. Cocoa Bean. I think that's Cocoa Bean. Let me send you a request, Cocoa Bean. I think that's your name. You there? Or maybe you did you request her by mistake? I'm not for sure.
I'm sorry.
Oh yeah, go ahead, sis.
How you get down? Which
Oh,
time?
you need to get down. Okay, I'm sorry about that. I'll just drop you, sis.
Okay.
All right.
One of the things, Trick, I was gonna say before I drop down myself is
Oh,
that
no problem.
you're 110% correct that when I be talking online about the infidelity clause, you would think common sense is, well, if he don't cheat, you got nothing. If he don't cheat and he says to you he's not gonna cheat, then that man wouldn't have no problem signing it. And I was really surprised the amount of women that was in a disagreement with me, saying like, well, if you pick the right man, he won't cheat. But my question is, what's wrong with him signing an infidelity clause if you know for a fact he won't cheat? If you're confident and he's confident, why can't he sign an infidelity clause just to show you, to give you that type of comfort that he won't cheat? And if he does cheat, he'll compensate you for breaking your heart and for betraying you and breaking your marital vows. A lot of women have told me that if you present that to a man, like I was reading in the comments, you're going to scare him away. And I was like, well, then that's not the man for you, honey. And then that's what made me have to stop and think. And I realized a lot of these women are able to do a vetting process, but they are afraid of the man's reaction. They're afraid that if they say the wrong thing, they might lose out on a good man because she ran her mouth. She said something he didn't like, blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, but ladies, this is the vetting process. This is how you pick, how you supposed to weed out if you have a decent man, if you're afraid to ask him the important questions. What is wrong with just sitting down asking these men 1,000 questions? There's nothing wrong with that. Even if you do ask him 1,000 questions, that don't always mean that he's going to answer truthfully. Of course not. But of course, you can always turn back around again a couple of months later and ask those questions again, because like you said, they're not going to keep answering the same question the same way, the same answer over and over and over. They're going to slip up or even get agitated and go, why are you asking me that? Oh, okay, well, I'm just making sure. And if any man that doesn't feel like you questioning him is basically the way to ensure that you are not dating a piece of crap, then that's definitely not the man for you, because a man's supposed to be patient with you. He's supposed to be like, okay, I understand that this woman got to protect herself. So you know what? Because I like her and I want to prove myself.
You there? Okay. You there, T?
That stupid thing that says like, you got 10% left or whatever.
Okay.
Yeah, like if he's not willing to be patient and basically undergo all of your tests, or not even, you don't even have to let him know he's going through a test. You know that you're testing him by just going by his actions, by observing him. We are very, very, listen, and I keep saying that I don't like it when women play the dumb card. I really don't. I don't like when women play the naive card. I didn't know, I wasn't naive card. I didn't know, I wasn't sure. Oh, really? Like the question that you asked, like, oh, he cheated on me, but he wished me happy birthday. Should I still send him a gift? Like, girl, stop. Because I send him a gift. Like, girl, stop. Because I guarantee you, you will use all those wits and all those intelligence when it comes to you talking to a woman. Einstein is not exactly intelligent, but they be extremely smart when it comes to talking to other women. I want to humble the other woman and stare her down, and basically want to prove how dumb she is and how smart she is by throwing this woman under the bus. But when it comes to a man, y'all want to act like y'all dumbing in a box of nails. That be so irritating. Just like when me and you was talking about with the DL situation, when I said there's a lot of women that I believe that know that they dude was on a DL, but you want to pretend that you didn't know that this dude was on a DL. Because like I keep saying over and over, there's never been a man that have not fooled me. There's no way, especially like in real life, even if you can't fool me on camera, you definitely cannot fool me in real life. Absolutely not. So when I hear these women want to pretend that, oh, I didn't know he was on the DL, I'm like, girl, he arched his eyebrows better than yours. He's wearing lip gloss. Girl, he know how to rap. He know how to do the head wrap better than you. Girl, he know how to twerk. You didn't see that? You not blind. That be like I said, that be I be like, come on, like seriously, let's just stop the games. And I really want women to stop doing that. Stop trying to coddle these men's feelings. DL men think that they can actually fool us because you got women going along with the program. And I'm like, I'm not going along with the program. If I see a man that's clearly DL, I would point it out and say, yo, because you DL. That's why you feel the way you feeling. That's why a lot of them dudes be on these podcasts talking about women and all this other stuff, because they really deep down, they all want to be with a man. And a lot of women need to just be honest and just call them out on it and just say, yo, because you want to be with a man. Like, come on. It's just be irritating. These women want to act like, oh, I didn't know my man was cheating. Yes, you did. Yes, you did. Yes, you did.
You know,
Stop playing dumb.
this, what you're saying, just is got me thinking about back when I used to do hair. Like, was doing this girl's hair, and she told me that her best friend approached her and told her that her brother told her that she was messing with her baby daddy, or he was messing with her baby daddy. And so, she was heartbroken about it. And so I was asking her, like, girl, well, what happened? You know what I'm saying? What did you do? And she said that he had told her, like, he was about to leave her or whatever because he wanted to be with her best friend's brother or whatever. And her best friend's brother or whatever he thought it was funny. And her best friend's brother or whatever he thought it was funny. He thought it was a kiki. He felt like he had something up on her, and that, he doesn't really want you. He had caught her fish or whatever. And so she was very upset about it. So she was telling me the whole story, and it's actually a sad story, y'all. It's nothing positive about this. I probably wouldn't even say this if I had been having some wine, but I'm gonna go ahead and tell y'all because it fits into what T was saying. So anyway, so I asked her, what did she do? So she confronted her baby daddy and said, hey, my best friend said that you've been messing with her brother. Is this true? And he didn't lie. He said, yes, it is true. I've been doing it. He was like, I think that I'm, G or whatever. And, I want to be with him. I don't want to be with you no more. And she was devastated, and she was like, well, what can I do? What can I do? What can I do to keep you around? Will you stay with me? What about our family? You know what I'm saying? What about it? And, he was like, well, maybe if what can I use? Pug. The dog's Pug. She pugged him. All right. Because that's what he asked for. And, she didn't want to do it. She said it went against, her comfortability or whatever. She didn't want to do it. It wasn't her thing. She wasn't into that type of, no king shaming and no nothing. That she just wasn't into that. She didn't want to do it, but she did it anyway. And, she did it a few times, hoping that would keep him there. And, he still left. And, she was telling me, how devastated she was. She didn't know if she could live anymore, and how she was going to be a mother. She was going through all of these things, and it let me know, in my opinion, a lot of times I feel like women see a lot of things, but they don't want to accept the truth, because at the end of the day, it's rooted in being male-centered. It's rooted in feeling like they are inadequate without a man, or feeling like, who are they without a man, or feeling like people are going to judge them and say, oh, you ain't got no man, and things like that. And I just want any, Black woman listening to really understand that if you have a man and he's mistreating you, or you have a man that doesn't really want you, that's not having a man. You're just like a woman that quote unquote doesn't have one. If you have one and you're being mistreated, like, I don't know why you could feel like you're better than a woman that's single, living in a peaceful state. And I don't know. I just think that, like, we and this isn't like I said before, as I said about earlier things, it's not like I'm exempt from this, because I do feel like the choice that I made in my first husband was also rooted in feeling like, everybody else was getting married and stuff. And who am I if I don't have a man? All these other girls, in the cult that I was in, they're now married. They now have husbands. And look here, me, I don't have it. And honestly, that is the quickest way to get you in some mess. Get you getting infected with a disease that you can't get rid of, get you treated in a way that you don't want to be treated in, getting you to discard your moral compass. Like, you know how some women become poly and they never wanted to be that way. They never wanted to do these things. Not no shade to people that want to do it, but to people that don't want to do it and they do it to keep a man. It's just a way of the you just, it's so many things that you may compromise in yourself if you put a man above, you know, you put a man above yourself. It's just never a good way. It's never a good way. And things didn't work out for that girl. I ain't gonna say nothing else about her, but things didn't work out well for her. You know, she was absolutely devastated. She, you know, and
Work out for them.
yeah, yeah,
That's
yeah.
just, I mean, and that's the thing that, you know, when you said that they would criticize another woman for being single, remind me of that pastor that was ironing her man clothes so he can go commit adultery. First of all, she said, "Oh, you know, that's probably why they single." Girl, you iron this man's clothes to go to his side chick. Illness. This has to be a mental illness because there's no way in no world you are actually going to sit down, stare me in no world you are actually going to sit down, stare me in the eye, and tell me that was actually rational and you make sense. That was very logical what you just said. You criticizing the woman that's single. Meanwhile, you're ironing the clothes for your husband to go visit his side chick. Like, even me and my sister was saying, like, she gotta have had a man. I was saying, my sister's in disbelief that this is true. She was like, no, she got a side man. I refuse to believe it. I said, why do you think so? I said, no, because no woman, she said, I can't imagine a woman really actually admitting to this on television. Really admitting this on television. And she said she got a side man. She just don't want to say it. That's why she's cool with him being with the side chick, so he can know his schedule, so she can bring her man over. That gotta be the case. But sadly, a lot of times it's not. That's a lot of women's reality. And you know, and I think I can confidently say this. We all know a woman like that. At least one woman. Cause I know a few. You know, I may not be their friend anymore, but I know it's a lot of women like that that's doing stuff like that. And, you know, those women are very, very dangerous to me because those be the type of woman that if a little girl was to say her husband did something, she would not take the side of that little girl. She will say the little girl enticed my husband. It's not my husband's fault, or my husband didn't do it. You know, so pointless, useless conversation that leads to no result. Listen, bro. Listen, don't take offense because we're talking about your mother. Okay. Listen, it's not our fault that we talking about being stronger women than your mother was. Straight up and down. A lot of these dudes, and it's funny if you dig into the psychology of that marriage with the pastor wife, he watched his daddy emotionally abuse his mother. Because exactly what he's putting his wife through, his mother went through that.
Girl, that self is infinite. He has a AI robotic picture. He's already an incel. Okay. And you know what? That was also, I was thinking, like, when I used to do hair back in the day, I used to always get all of the tea. I remember it was one girl, I used to do her quick weaves faithfully all the time. And I remember she was telling me she met this dude online. And she was like, yeah, you know, I went over his house, you know, we hooked up, everything was cool, but he had a roommate. And I remember her telling me like she went, I think it was like the third time she went there and they linked up. She said that she heard the roommate crying. The roommate was a man, mind you. And she said that she thought it was weird. And she asked the guy or whatever, like, hey, like, why is your roommate? Like, what's going on? He was like, oh, you know, I don't know what's going on with the roommate or whatever, but he just tripping, you know. It's just like he doesn't really like company like that. You know, he gets emotional sometimes. And then she said the like the next time she came over, like the roommate said they wanted to talk to her, and the roommate, he told her like he was messing with the man and stuff, and she refused to believe him. And she was asking me, like, you know, is it true? Do I think that the roommate was lying? And I was telling her, like, girl, no, that roommate not lying. That roommate telling the truth. Ain't no way he gonna be in there crying over a man that he ain't been messing with when you not there. And you know, she got mad at me and she refused to believe me. All of the things that I told her, she told me that I was hating. And you know, she ended up like not booking me no more. Like she did not get her hair done by ended up like not booking me no more. Like she did not get her hair done by me no more. And she got her hair done by me. Oh, I had did her hair so many times before then. And I remember being so hurt by that. I was like, wow, like she really just cut me off because I told her the truth. She asked me.
And after she asked your expert opinion and she still got mad at you. That's why you really can't be friends with women like that. Honestly speaking, I'm glad. Yeah, it's good to have mental peace from, this was like years ago when I made that decision and said, you know what? No more. Because those would be the type of women that emotionally drain you. Meanwhile, they man is living in peace. You are giving me more hell, HE double hockey sticks, than the man that's actually causing you pain. This man can walk up in the house in blissful ignorance that he actually believes that he's a good man. Meanwhile, I'm getting all of this emotional trauma dumping on me. And meanwhile, he walk up in the house, you as quiet as a church mouse. You about to, okay, girl, let's, after done finish telling me 3 hours of how this dude is dogging you out, and then go, oh, he's coming home. I'm about to, I got the chicken on the stove. I'm about to give it to him. I'll talk to you later, girl. Girl. At this point, I want coochie from you too. Because if I'm gonna do half of the work from what your dude is putting up with, I want some coochie too. And of course, I say that as a joke all the time. Like, I'm like, damn, he's getting the best of both worlds. He getting some coochie and he getting some hot meal. And all he got to do is go upside your head. I'm going to come over there and I'm going to smack the piss out of you so I can get a hot meal too. And it's kind of like, you don't want to say that, but it's kind of like, how can I dumb this down for you to understand not only what you're doing to yourself, also what you're doing to me? And I guarantee you, if you was to sit there and turn around, Trig, and said that her man was trying to holler at you behind her back, she would have fought you, cut you off, and believed him. That's why those type of women you don't mess with. You don't be friends with women like that. I'm sorry. I know, like, we supposed to be like a so-called girls, and help women. Only type of woman that's on my team is a healthy-minded woman. Only if you healthy-minded, you are on my team, and I will have your back. But if you are that type of woman that want to live in Delulu and La La Land, you want to be on an express bus to never land and believing that this man is a good man, and okay, I can't go on that train with you, girl. You just gotta be by yourself and do some healing and do whatever you gotta do. And then when you get to that point that you're healthy minded, then you can be welcomed back into the fold. And until then, those are the type of women you got to cut off. Because Trigger, how many pick-me's have ran up here, put on a track shoes and ran up in here and argue you about a no good man? These men can literally say, I'm a piece of shit. They could say, listen, I would sleep with your mama. I would run up your credit. I hope you got a good job because I'm taking your money and I'm going to live off of you and you're not going to kick me out. And I'm going to touch your daughter. I'm going to touch your dog, all of that. And these women will run up there and argue you down saying that's a good man. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's totally true. I mean, I don't know. That's the reason why I said that I wanted to start speaking more openly about, like, I guess, like, things that women should look out for, because maybe women like that, maybe one day they'll listen, or maybe they'll listen if it's not a woman that they feel directly connected to. But I don't know. But
He said, he's Chrissy baby said I need to run a pick me boot camp. Y'all don't want me to run no pick me boot camp. I'm
you
like,
need
girl, get
to.
up there, run, girl, run like how you run and make those meals for your cheating ass husband. Go, go, go.
Oh my goodness, y'all. Anyway, I appreciate all of y'all. This was so fun today. I'm gonna go ahead and hit up all of you guys for one last comment, and then I'm gonna go ahead and end the live because I'm at 2 hours and 24 minutes. Y'all know my cutoff is normally 2 hours. I'm gonna go up here to PG 1908, then Gabrielle, and then T to close it out. You had any? Oh, okay, all right, T. I appreciate you so much. I'm so glad that you came up, T. You always crack me up, and you always have good information as well. Go ahead, PG 1908.
Oh no, I just want to tell y'all this was fun and y'all have a good night. Y'all be good.
All right. Thank you so much, PG 1908. I appreciate you for coming up. I really do. It's always fun when you come up too, because you be getting at them dudes and asking them questions and hitting them with the analytical situation, and they just can't hang. All right, let me go down here to Gabrielle.
Yeah, I didn't have a whole lot to say, but yeah, I really enjoyed the live and I'm glad I got to come up. I actually subscribed to your, like, I subscribe to get like the notifications, but I never get them. So I'm just, if I'm on TikTok and I happen to see your live, I always try to hop in. But yeah,
I'm
this was,
shadow banned, girl. I'm shadow banned, sis.
oh no.
Yes. But I still appreciate you for coming up, and I appreciate you for checking me out when you can. I really appreciate it. And I always appreciate your perspective as well. Like I do. And I think that we as black women, we may not always agree on everything amongst each other. Not that I disagree with anything that you said, but I'm just saying that we may not always agree on every single point that each other says. But as long as we can have discussions and interchanges and we can all be respectful at the end of the day, we can come together as sisters. I think that is still a beautiful thing. You know what I'm saying? Because nobody, you're going to agree with nobody 100% of the time. It's just not going to happen. You may agree with the majority of the stuff, but not going to agree with everything. So, I think it's good that we can all come together and have discourse and stuff, and also roast these ashies that come in here as well. And I appreciate all the ladies that were in the live today. They came in, Gabrielle, Special K. Ladies that were in the live today. They came in, Gabrielle, Special K, PG 1908, T Scorpio. I think I already said PG 19. I think I said Gabrielle already. I'm sorry, y'all. Like I said, I'm a little buzzing right now. I appreciate all of you ladies that came in and gave y'all perspective. Like I think that the lives that I have, even though it's not that many people in there, I really think that, it's just such an indicator of how many strong, intelligent black women are that are out there. Because so many times, Sage was on here too. I appreciate Sage as well. That people try to act like, we're not powerful, we're not strong, we're not intelligent, we're not, intuitive. We are. And I think that comes through in the way we speak, the way we, present ourselves and all of that. And if you notice, like when these dudes come up, like the guy, what was the guy that ambiance was up? You know what I'm saying? He couldn't even formulate a sentence when PG 1908 challenged his perspective. He couldn't even speak. He was over there speaking like the sloth from Zootopia. He couldn't even speak. And then the other dude, I think his name was like John Johnson or something like that. The dude that sounded like RoboCop. Like he couldn't even. He over here talking about computer love. Or what's it, California? Like California came here to party. That's he was doing that. He couldn't even, you know what I'm saying? So it's just like, I think our intellect, our wit, and everything is just so, evident in everything that we do. But people are so irritated with us because of that. You know what I'm saying? And I really do feel like a lot of things that's projected onto black women is literally their reflection. They see it in themselves and they hate it and they want to put it on us instead. You know what I'm saying? Yes, exactly, Miss Chrissy, baby. Like it's intimidating to them. And, I just want every black woman listening to this. You can vet men. You can protect yourself. You can recognize a lame and a loser before you even give him your time or your opportunity. You can. You know, these men show it every day that it's so easy within talking to them within like 5, 10, 15 minutes. You can see it. You know what I'm saying? What type of man they are. And you know, and that's all I really wanted to say. And I just wanted to uplift us and just say that, like, Black women, you're beautiful, you're strong, you're intelligent, and don't let nobody else tell you otherwise, like, truthfully. And don't settle for less neither, because, you know, when you settle for less, you devalue yourself. You devalue yourself. For real. And Miss Chrissy Baby says, look at the shoelaces. She said, look at them shoelaces, all right? So, and I just want to say thanks for Unbreakable. Let me give some shout out to some ladies in the comments. That are always here. Let me take a look. Coach T, of course. You know I love you, Coach T. Special K, always. And I forgot to say Special K. Also, Special K that came up here as well. Love her. Always got something good and intelligent to say. Miss Mac is in here. Brooklyn Shanae is in here. I am Herschel's in here. Breakable Miss Good News is in here. Carter is in here. I think I've seen Queen Bree in here before. Also Mimi and also Carefree. I've seen all of these ladies in here before as well. So I just wanted y'all all to know. Yeah. All right, so I love y'all and I'll see y'all later and I hope that y'all have a great evening. All right, I'll see y'all. I'm not about to keep rambling. All right, I love y'all.